Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are the West.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Uverse TV. Well, an absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon at Comerica Park in Detroit. And the Rangers are hoping that it turns out to be even a brighter day as they look to take 3 out of 4 from the Detroit Tigers. And welcome in, everyone, along with Mark McLemore, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Sunday afternoon. Certainly hope that your Memorial Day weekend is off to a great start and everyone is safe and sound on this Sunday. And the Rangers certainly are safe. They had a 12-run outburst yesterday. It was led by maybe an unlikely suspect, the youngest man in the major leagues, Rougned Odor. And he was something, Mac.
He really was. Rougned Odor had a day to remember. Going out yesterday, going 4 for 5 and driving in 5 runs on the day. A couple of triples, and this young man can flat out play. He's 20 years old, the youngest player in Major League Baseball, but he goes out here and he's looking right now like he's been in the major leagues for 5 years or more, not being afraid, taking nice swings at the plate, putting together good at-bats, and playing some pretty solid defense as well. So Rougned Odor, a very good day yesterday, and one of those days that he'll be able to talk to his grandchildren about one of these days. A 20-year-old talking about grandkids already.
Boy, and anytime you get mentioned in the same phrase with Al Kaline, that's something pretty special. Something pretty special on the mound this afternoon for the Detroit Tigers. Justin Verlander, who was a little tough last time out for him, looking to rebound. Rangers and Tigers coming up next from Comerica Park in Detroit. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. By the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon here on Memorial Day weekend. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the first pitch for you right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
With you, and I talked to Colby Lewis about his start today and about the fact that he still is the first ever pitcher to come back from hip replacement surgery. Asked him if he's getting used to being a pioneer.
I think early I was kind of wanting it to happen, and then now it's it's become reality. So it's not something that I think about every day. It's just something that it's part of life now, and you got to go out there and you got to do a job. And, the guy in the batter's box doesn't care if I got a fake hip or not. So you got to go out there and get outs and be productive.
Yeah, pretty simple approach, Buzz. As you know, that's the way he needs to approach it. He's been great on the road. A 2-0 record so far on the road since he had that hip replacement surgery. Guys, back up to you.
All right, John. Yeah, he's going to be tested today. It's a pretty good hitting Tiger Ball Club, and the Rangers, another test for their batting order. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines this afternoon. It's Shin-Soo Choo leading off. He is DHing. Elvis Andrus follows. Then Mitch Moreland, the first baseman. Adrian Beltre is the cleanup man. Alex Rios is in right field. Leonis Martin hitting sixth, plays center. Michael Choice to start in left. Robinson Chirinos catches and bats eighth, and the number 9 hitter is Rougned Odor playing second base. We are underway here this afternoon as Choo hits a little line drive off the glove of Ian Kinsler and out into right field. The broken bat, and I've got to think that probably affected Ian Kinsler, at least his eyesight going after the ball. That bat head flying out that way, and Kinsler didn't catch it.
Yeah, there's no question. You can't help but to see that flying bat head. Something else is coming out there other than the baseball, so you're going to be distracted a little bit by it, and I'm sure Kins was on that play there.
We'll see how that is ruled. It is going to be a base hit for Shin-Soo Choo. So the Rangers with a hit from their leadoff man to start things off against Justin Verlander. Now here's Elvis Andrus. Elvis steps in at 247. He's going to bunt, pops it up out in front of home plate, and right there Alex Avila makes the grab, and the sacrifice attempt goes for naught. That is out number 1.
And the Sonic scouting report on Mr. Verlander, 5-3 record this year with a 3.5 ERA in 10 starts and 1,243 strikeouts since 2009. That leads the major leagues over that time span. And He's a former AL MVP and Cy Young Award winner in 2011. You know, the Rangers have actually fared pretty well against Mr. Verlander. He's not as dominant against them as he is against most other clubs.
Part of that, too, Mac, is what they've done to him in Texas. They've been about the same as other clubs in this ballpark. But, boy, in Texas, they really have gotten after Verlander. I don't think he really cares to pitch down there, at least judging from past results. I'm not sure that Verlander really cares where he's pitching, but when he's throwing the ball well, he is tough.
Yeah, he can pitch anywhere when he's throwing the ball well.
So 1 on, 1 out now after the popped up bunt, and Mitch Moreland, a .271 hitter in there against Verlander. The pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mitch yesterday, his first ever career start in the number 3 hole, and he is up there again today. Rangers, of course, winning 12-2 yesterday against the Tigers. Ron Washington not messing around with that lineup too much. On the outside, off the outside corner, it's 2 balls and no strikes to Moreland. Mitch tied for second on the ball club with 18 runs driven in. He and Adrian Beltre at that 18 RBI mark. Alex Rios, the team leader, with 26. Chu, the runner at first. Verlander, a belt high set, now drives Chu back. Shin-Soo hasn't been running much as far as just straight steals. He hasn't gotten that part of his game going. And part of it is the sore ankle that he got. It's causing him to miss 5 games at the first part of this month. He really hasn't been 100% physically. And the 2-0 pitch is outside. It's 3-0.
Yeah, that's going to keep him from running probably for a while. And, you know, ankles can be very tough, especially when you're playing on it every day like Chu's been doing. You know, he's going to go out there, and as long as he can hit and move around and keep that mobility in the outfield, he's going to be out there. But as far as stealing bases goes, I don't think he's going to be doing much of that here in the near future.
Verlander's 3-0 pitch, and that is high, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk puts Moreland aboard. Now to second goes Chu, and it brings up Adrian Beltre, who has been on fire. Take a look at the Tiger defense very quickly. Behind Justin Verlander this afternoon, Rajai Davis in left, Austin Jackson center, and Torrey Hunter's in right. Victor Martinez spells Miguel Cabrera at first this afternoon. Kinsler and Romine up the middle. Castellanos, the third baseman, Alex Avila behind the plate. A 2 on, 1 out. Adrian Beltre stepping to the plate, and he has been a terror against the Tigers and against the entire Major League Baseball scene of late. He has a 6-game hitting streak going. .455 the average for Adrian. And he takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. The overall numbers: 284, 5 home runs, 18 RBI, and he is 11 for 39 with a home run in his career against Justin Verlander. And those are pretty good numbers against a guy who doesn't give up much.
Those aren't good numbers. And, you know, they've seen each other a lot, obviously. This is his 40th bat against him.
Hit well to center field. Jackson going back, still retreating, and stops in front of the warning track. He makes the catch. Chu tags at second, will advance to third. Beltre hitting at about 400 feet to the deepest part of the ballpark. It's a long out, and there are 2 away for Alex Rios.
AB shot that one out into center field, and most ballparks that's probably gone. That's a pretty good poke. The wind looks like it's blowing in here today, but he gave that one a pretty good ride.
See the flag in dead center field, blowing well in and across a little bit, enough to knock down the marginal shots that are hit to center and right center. Well, here's Rios, the team leader, as we mentioned, with those 26 RBI, and he has really hit well against Justin Verlander. .350. You won't find many right-handed hitters those kinds of numbers against Verlander.
I don't know if there are any left-handed hitters that are doing that well off of Verlander.
Yeah, it's true. Rios at .316 has had a very good series against the Tigers. He's gone 7 for 14 in the first 3 games. A couple of doubles. He has driven in a run. He has Shin-Soo Chu at third and Mitch Moreland at first. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Verlander missing down and away. It's 2-0. So Verlander, who scuffled his last time out against the Cleveland Indians, and just a 5-inning outing, and gave up 6 runs. trying to rebound against the Rangers here this afternoon. Couldn't check his swing. That breaking ball had Alex Rios out in front, and it's 2-1. Not a typical fastball count pitch that you normally see from Verlander.
No, and that's what makes him so tough. He can throw any pitch that he wants to at any point in the count, so you can't just sit there and say 2-0, 3-1, it's going to be a fastball. He can use any one of his other pitches and throw it for a strike and get you to swing it.
And the pitch inside, 3 balls and a strike. Well, Verlander going to throw at least 13 pitches here to the first 5 hitters. Got runners at the corners, 1 out, a 3-1 count, or make that 2 outs, a 3-1 count to Alex Rios. Verlander back to the plate. Chopper slowly hit to third, charging Castellanos. The throw, not in time. Rios able with those long strides to leg out an infield single that drives home 2, and the Rangers have an early 1-0 lead. Well, Rios maybe a little slow getting out of the box because of the way he swung at the ball. But once he got it going, he got down there in a hurry.
He really did. Castellanos comes in and makes a nice play, but Rios stretched out those legs. It didn't look like he was going to make it for a minute, but he got down that line pretty good and just beats the throw from Castellanos at third base.
That's one of those plays. You don't really realize how fast Alex Rios is with those long strides. It looks so effortless, and then all of a sudden he beats out a throw like that. You say, how did he get there that quick?
Right. He's not what you would call a hard runner, where he looks like he's going, as fast as he is. But those strides, he's covering some ground quickly.
Well, the Rangers on top here in the first, and Leonys Martin takes strike 1. Martin trying to add to the Ranger advantage. Leonys just 3 career at-bats against Verlander, 1 for 3. Overall at 286. He's having a good series here. It's that big breaking ball that hangs off the plate outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin 4 out of 12 in the first 3 games. Has Moreland at second, Rios at first. Verlander a check of second. And a check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Appealed down to third base umpire Lance Barrett, who rang that right fist up. And Martin down to the count now, 1-2.
Martin thought he held up there. It doesn't look like he went too far.
Maybe the most disputed call for players and umpires, that check swing. That seems like there is no definitive, no cut and dried way of saying, okay, that's a swing and that's not. Each umpire seems to almost have his own vision of what it looks like to him when a guy swings.
You're right. And there are some umpires that see if you just flinch, they say you win. Really?
Those are the ex-pitchers.
There you go. But, yeah, that's a very tough call. A lot of umpires, they just look at things differently. And like you said, there's no one set way to judge it. It's all up to that particular umpire.
A 2-2 the count to Martin. Moreland a pretty good lead at second as Verlander checks it. Well, Leonys a pretty good rip at that fastball. Fouled it straight back. We'll try it again. Martin with multiple hits in 2 of the 3 games in this series. You see the 3 runs scored for the Rangers center fielder also in this set 2 with the Tigers. Trying to add to the Rangers 1-0 lead here in the first inning. Got him on the fist. Verlander gets a foul ball, and Martin fouling off some pretty tough pitches.
He is. He's doing a good job hanging in there. This isn't an easy at bat for Martin. He's only seen Verlander 3 other times, and really not knowing, okay, what is he going to throw right here? Because this is a guy that can throw any pitch in any count and throw it for a strike. So this is very tough. Martin's doing a good job so far.
Verlander set for what will be the 20th pitch of the inning. And a chopper out to second off the bat of Leonys Martin. Kinsler handles it. That'll do it. But the Rangers get on the board first. A run on a couple of hits. They strand 2. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Rangers 1. Tigers coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Run on the top of the first. Now the Tigers coming to bat against the veteran Colby Lewis. Here's the lineup that he will face this afternoon. Rajai Davis leads off. He's the left fielder. Ian Kinsler leading the American League. That .333 average is next. Then Miguel Cabrera, the DH. Victor Martinez, the cleanup man, playing first. Torrey Hunter in right field. Austin Jackson, the center fielder, bats sixth. Then it's the catcher, Alex Avila. Nick Castellanos at third. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Andrew Romine.
The Sonic scouting report on Colby Lewis. 3-3 this year, 5.4 ERA. And he's pitched much better on the road than he has at home. It's his fourth road start. He's got a 2.76 ERA on the road and 7.5 at home. He had a pretty good outing against Seattle. 6 innings pitched in that win against the Mariners last week.
So Colby ready to take on these Detroit Tigers. Rajai Davis leads things off, and the first pitch is in for strike one. Davis hitting .284. He and Ian Kinsler, the man who follows in the order, formed a pretty good 1-2 combo at the top of this order. A swinging strike, and it is 0-2. Colby Lewis breaking out the good fastball here early to Rajai Davis. Lewis to the wind. And the fastball away is fouled back. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Colby, as he likes to do, is trying to establish that fastball early in this game. Said everything else works off that. He likes to go out and get a feel for what he's featuring by moving that fastball around. Then he comes with a breaking ball. Good slider there. That's his punch out pitch. You couldn't tempt Davis to swing at it. A ball and 2 strikes. Little looper. That is going to be tough and fair. Moreland will hold Davis to a single. And good job by Colby Lewis to get over there and take a throw behind Davis. But a little Texas leaguer off the bat of Rajai Davis gets him aboard for a leadoff base hit.
It's a great pitch by Colby Lewis. Hit his spot down and away, and Davis just kind of poked the bat out there at it and put some wood on it and put it in play and dunked it over into right field for a little single. And Mitch Moreland does a good job getting down there because he knows Davis can motor, so he had to jump on that ball quickly.
Now Rajai Davis aboard to start the bottom of the first inning. Rangers had their leadoff man aboard in the top of the first, and Shin-Soo Choo came around to score. You remember on Friday night, last time we were with you, Rajai Davis led off with a base hit to right and was promptly picked off by Robinson Chirinos at first base. First pitch to Kinsler is low and outside for ball 1. He is, as we mentioned, the American League leading hitter. .333 with 4 home runs and 22 driven in. Davis a pretty good lead at first. And Lewis will drive him back. Colby doesn't do a whole lot of changing with his motion to home plate with a runner on base. He does what he can to prevent guys from getting good leads, but he is slow delivering the ball to home plate. And he's a challenge for Robinson Chirinos to work with from that standpoint about throwing runners out.
Yeah, and this is, one of the things he uses to combat that runner at first base is throwing over to first base. Just keeping him a little as closely as possible, keeping him close as possible, and sometimes tiring that runner out. This is the third throw over there in a row. And believe me, as a guy that stole a couple of bases, when you're diving back into first base, that takes its toll, especially 3 or 4 times. You're not particularly thinking about going on that next pitch.
Colby, quick pitches it to home. He used a little slide step, gets a pop-up on the left side of the infield, and Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrews playing their game over there. It's Elvis to make the catch. Beltre pretending like he was going to catch it. No, that is 1 out, and let's take a look at the Ranger defense, which is brought to you this afternoon by Fred Boya Insurance. In the outfield today, Michael Choice in left, Leonis Martinez center. Alex Rios is in right. You've seen Mitch Moreland at first. Rougned Odor, the second baseman. Andrews and Beltre on the left side of the infield. Robinson Chirinos, he is catching Colby Lewis today. 50 double plays turned by the Rangers, 4th in the American League. He would love to add 1 more here with Miguel Cabrera at the plate, and Colby deals strike one. Does any pair of infielders have more fun than Andrus and Beltre?
No, they can't. That still gets me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Beltre thinking he's catching it, and I see Elvis coming over and not realizing who's messing with who there in that situation.
Fly ball down the right side. That's going to peel off into the seats and well back out of play. 0-2 to Miguel Cabrera. Well, the early going here, it looks like whatever Colby has brought with him is not easily picked up, whether it's deception in his motion, his delivery, or whether it's the lighting, with the sun overhead. Who knows? But haven't had a whole lot of good swings at him yet.
No, it really looks like they're not picking him up well, and hopefully that lasts for about 7 or 8 innings.
Yeah, be good. Cabrera down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and again Colby going to work on Rajai Davis over there at first. 1 on, 1 out. How about Cabrera the last month or so, a .386 hitter. He was hitting down in the 220s at one point in mid-April. Everybody's saying, well, that guy, won back-to-back. There goes Davis. He had a great jump. Throw is not nearly in time. Davis swipes second. That's his 15th stolen base. Make that his 16th stolen base of the year.
Well, at some point, Davis is going to go and try and get down there into scoring position for Miguel Cabrera, and he gets a great jump on Colby Lewis. He picked the right time. Colby did his normal, motion to the plate. Didn't do a quick step, quick pitch or anything. Just his normal delivery to the plate. And Chirinos really had no chance on that one.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Miguel Cabrera. Rangers will shade Cabrera around to the left side. That leaves a pretty big hole on the right side. Cabrera very, very adept at driving a ball through that second base hole. 1-2 pitch. Colby not letting them have a pitch he can do that with easily, and misses inside 2-2.
Cabrera is a special hitter. He can hit the ball wherever it's pitched. Doesn't matter if it's inside, outside. He can even take an inside fastball and take it the other way. As a matter of fact, when he's at his best, he's going to right center field. And Colby knows he doesn't want to give him anything out over the plate, obviously, and let him get extended.
Now, home plate umpire Jeff Gosney is going to call a balk on Colby Lewis for not stepping towards second base. And Ron Washington out to see what the deal is, but that's going to be called a balk because Colby got his feet twisted around, didn't get his body aligned to second base when he bluffed that move. They're going to say that that is a balk by Lewis. His feet never get him around towards second base.
Right.
Now, if he just stepped off and hadn't made a bluff move, that would have been okay. But because he went through with a motion for a pickoff, because he didn't get himself aligned, that's a balk.
Well, he's lined up to throw it first, and you've got to at least be lined up to throw where that runner is.
Cabrera fouls one off to the right. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. So on the balk, Davis goes down to third base, and he's there with just 1 out for a pair of dangerous hitters in Cabrera, to be followed by Victor Martinez. So the Rangers leading 1-0, but that lead in jeopardy. They will play the infield back here in the first inning. Give up the run 4 and out if they can get it. Lewis working from the stretch. 3-2. Now Colby Lewis, not a time that you want to challenge Miguel Cabrera. You got a 1-0 lead. I know it's only the first inning, but just go ahead and put him on as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, this is the one guy in the lineup. I mean, not taking anything away from any of the other hitters in the lineup, but this guy's the best hitter in the game.
Yep.
You don't want him to beat you.
And Colby Lewis was not going to allow that to happen. Threw him a 3-2 hook that was well outside. So the semi-intentional walk puts runners at first and third, brings up Victor Martinez. Now the Rangers can possibly get out of this with a double play ball. Martinez, no easy customer to deal with. 331 the average. You can see that Colby has not found a way to deal with him very effectively. Martinez 5 for 11 in his career against the Ranger right-hander. Martinez, a dozen home runs and 28 RBI. Davis down at third base. Cabrera at first as Lewis gets set. The first pitch a little bit low for ball one. Victor Martinez, of course, a switch hitter that usually handles the DH chores, playing first base today, giving Miguel Cabrera a partial day off. Saw Rajai Davis over at third and Miguel Cabrera, the runner at first. 1-0 pitch coming from Lewis. The tailing fastball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Colby being very careful with Martinez, and Colby knows those numbers. As a pitcher, you know the batters that hit you well. And Colby's being very careful with Martinez, and hopefully he'll swing it, trying to get him to swing at Colby's pitch and not give him something very good to hit.
Right-handers ready. 2-0 way outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Mike Maddox, Ron Washington, Tim Bogart checking things out from their perch on the top step. The Ranger dugout. Carino, not a sure thing that Victor Martinez is going to have a take sign. Lewis back to the plate. Ball fouled straight down. Got a pretty good piece of Robinson Chirino. So Victor Martinez going after that 3-0 pitch with a vengeance and fouled it away.
I think he's a little anxious. He wants to hit right now.
Sure does.
It's just high and up out of the strike zone. Those guys, those run producers, when they see that run down there at third base with less than 2 outs, to them that's a free run for them. So if there's something close, they're going to be hacking.
Davis bouncing around down there at third. Dave Clark, the third base coach, trying to keep a rope on it. 3-1 pitch to Moreland. They go to second. Now late, coming back, not in time. And Mitch, that little hesitation. I don't know whether he didn't have a grip on the ball or whether Cabrera going to second was in his line. But that prevented a double play from being turned. The run is across. And we've got a tie ball game now at 1-1.
Yeah, that had to be it. Elvis was there. He was in position. He was already playing up the middle. So there was only a couple of steps for him to get to the bag. And Mitch snags this one hopper. And the only thing could be he just didn't have a good grip on it. And once he double pumped there's not much chance to turn that double play.
Well, Victor Martinez with his 29th RBI. 1-1 game now. He is at first. And Torrey Hunter, a 278 hitter, is at the plate. Rip and a miss on the breaking ball. First pitch from Colby Lewis. Hunter's having a tough series. He's just 1 for 11 against the Rangers the first 3 games. And in his career against Colby Lewis, not a whole lot going. 2 for 19. 0-1 pitch coming. Pop foul and out of play. And the count goes to 0-2.
Colby jumps ahead of him. And again, just like the guys that that hit you well, the guys that don't hit you well, you know them as well. You know who they are as well.
And you want to reinforce every time you get a chance the idea that they do not hit you well. Just remind them.
This is a pretty good start, getting down 0-2 real quick.
Sure is. And pretty defensive swing by Torrey Hunter just to stay alive on that good fastball away. Still 0-2. Torrey Hunter got off to a pretty good start. Did well in the month of April. He has tailed off a bit in the month of May, however. And he pops one up to right center field. Alex Rios drifting in and makes the grab. That will do it. But the Tigers tie the ball game. They get a run on a hit and strand one. We're going to the second. The Rangers won and the Tigers won on Fox Sports Southwest. Grant program gives nonprofit organizations, schools, and cities financial support to give more kids a chance to play baseball or softball in better conditions. Help us help your organization by applying for a grant. Information and an application can be found at texasrangers.com/foundation. Grant applications are due by June 30th of 2014. Michael Choice leading off, hits a towering drive to deep left. Back at the wall is Davis. Up against the wall. Goodbye. Michael Choice hit a moonshot that got out of here off Justin Verlander, and the Rangers regained the lead at 2-1.
Wow, how about that for your first at bat against Justin Verlander?
Didn't waste any time, did he?
He did not. He saw something he liked and jumped right on it.
Introduced himself. Hi, I'm Michael Choice. I'd like to take you out of here.
Fastball down and in, looks like, and Michael Choice was ready for that one. Got the head out on it and hit it a mile high.
Well, Michael Choice with his third home run of the year, and the Rangers back on top. Here is Robinson Chirinos. You've seen how quick Michael Choice is inside on fastballs. Pretty tough to get the ball by him. And that ball down and right in his sweet spot. And congratulations, Michael Choice. He has now jumped into that 18 RBI group.
It's pretty impressive, 18 RBIs for a guy that's not playing every day.
Pitch is low to Chirinos, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. So Robinson trying to get aboard. Rougned Odor, the hot-hitting number 9 man, is next for the Rangers. 3-0 pitch. It is right down through there. 3-1 to Chirinos. Robinson offensively has tailed off his last 10 ball games. He still has already established career highs in a lot of things. And there's a line drive to left. That's carrying well. One hopping off the wall. Davis plays the carom, and into second with a ringing double is Robinson Chirinos. And those are about 2 of the hardest hit balls you're going to see back-to-back off Verlander that I can recall. Chirinos with his 4th double of the year.
Ranger hitters are coming out being aggressive today, swinging the bat. You know, they know it's Justin Verlander, but hey, they're not looking at that. They're looking for the baseball somewhere out over the middle of the plate, and that's what they're getting. And they're not missing it. Chirinos takes that high fastball, 3-1 count, and rips it into left field for a double.
Robinson Chirinos now in scoring position. Nobody out. Rougned Odor coming off that 4-hit, 5 RBI game yesterday. Up there to try and at least get Chirinos over to third. He's around a bunt. Takes outside for ball 1. Odor raised his average up to 278 with that game yesterday. He had 2 doubles, or excuse me, a double and 2 triples, 5 RBI, and he scored a run. Again around a bunt, and bunts through it. Here's 1 ball and 1 strike. Odor checking with Gary Pettis down there at third. See if the bunt might be on again for the young man. This Odor's 11th start at second base for the Rangers. Facing Justin Verlander, obviously for the first time in his career. Again around a bunt. It's a good one. Verlander throwing to first, throws in the dirt and gets away from Kinsler, and that's going to allow Chirinos to come down the line and score from second base, or from third base, as he had stopped at third. And it's going to be a sacrifice, a throwing error for Verlander, and the Rangers lead it 3-1.
Gordon does a good job getting that bunt down. That's a bunt situation, obviously, especially against a tough pitcher like Verlander. So you know the third baseman's going to be in a little bit. The pitcher's going to come off the mound going toward third base, and Odor puts it in a perfect spot. Verlander gets it, thought about going to third base, and that might have messed him up there, and he bounced it over to first base, over to Kinsler, and wasn't able to make that play.
Odor, you saw him tumble over the bag as he went by first base. And that stopped any thought of going to second on the errant throw. He stayed at first. He's there. Still nobody out. Back to the top of the order. Shin-Soo Choo, who singled in the first. Takes a rip. Misses the first pitch.
I really think Verlander, thinking about going to third base, he saw his shoulder open up just a little bit, and he said, no, let me try and get one. But I think that threw him off and caused him to bounce that ball over to first base. And like you said, Odor kind of tripped there.
There goes Odor. It's an off-speed pitch outside the throw to second, and they get it. Well, Alex Avila is having as good a year throwing out base runners as anybody in baseball, and he nails another one as Odor caught, tried to swipe second.
Avila doing a good job behind the plate there. Verlander does an excellent job getting to the plate. He's not slow at all. He's pretty quick to the plate, and Avila comes up throwing it. It was a strike down to second base to get Odor.
It's the 14th that he has thrown out trying to steal this year. Robinson Chirinos second. Caught stealing by catchers. Avila having a very good year doing that. Caught Rougned Odor. That's the first out of the Rangers' second inning. And Choo hits a rocket down to first, but Victor Martinez didn't have any choice but to handle that ball. That was right at him. 2 gone.
He was either going to handle that or it was going to handle him.
Yeah, sure was. Well, here's Elvis for his second at bat. He tried to sacrifice in the first inning and popped it up to Avila. So 0 for 1. Elvis a 246 hitter as Verlander comes to him, and a breaking ball on the first pitch. Got Elvis out in front. 0-1. Elvis with hits in 5 of his last 6 games, but batting average suffering a bit. He's hit just 188 in the last 8 ball games. Verlander misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Verlander winds the 1-1. 2-1 now. Now this Tiger rotation, and it's led by Verlander and Scherzer, going through this time through the rotation. They've had 4 of 5 starts be not very good, not very Tiger-like, if you will. Verlander's last one, and quite honestly, he doesn't look like Justin Verlander today yet. I mean, I wouldn't say he doesn't look like him today, period, because he can turn things around pretty quickly. But this doesn't look like Verlander throwing at his best. The Rangers better take advantage of it while they can. Left center field, Davis and Jackson over there. It's the center fielder, Austin Jackson, to run it down. And that'll do it. But the Rangers get a couple on the board, started by Michael Choice. And the moonshot for his 3rd home run of the year. 2 runs on 2 hits, nobody left. 1.5 in the book. Rangers 3, Tigers 1. That's all thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Use hashtag SouthwestFanPhoto, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season. You never know. We will show you our selection for today a little bit later on in this afternoon's ball game. Well, the Rangers back on top. Colby Lewis with a 3-1 advantage with which to work, and he starts off the bottom of the 2nd facing Austin Jackson and throws ball 1. Jackson hitting at .266. The North Texas native takes outside, 2-0 from Colby. Austin Jackson with 3 home runs, 15 RBI. And a rip and a miss. Tigers got a run on on 1 hit and a balk in the 1st inning. That balk played a big role in the run. Run came home to score. Victor Martinez had an RBI on a fielder's choice ground out. 2-2 now as Lewis comes back to even the count to Jackson. Austin Jackson 5 out of 12 in this series. And he's got a modest 3-game hitting streak going. Chopper over the mound. Odor throwing across his body, and Moreland comes off but can't apply the tag as Jackson was going by. Odor's throw tailed to the home plate side of first, and Mitch Moreland couldn't do anything to get that tag on him.
Well, Austin Jackson takes this pitch right back up the middle, high chopper, and Odor's playing him up the middle a little bit, and it's a tough play. You just got to open that shoulder up just a little bit more, especially when you're on that side of the bag going across your body, and Austin Jackson can get down that line a little bit.
That's going to be scored an infield hit, and rightfully so. Odor would have had to make a perfect play to get Jackson with his speed. So 1 on, nobody out. Alex Avila now, the Tiger catcher up there. He's hitting 7th, batting .234 as he faces Colby with 1 on and nobody out. off speed, high and outside. 1-0. Avila 1 out of 9 in the series between these two clubs. He's gone 4 for 12 with a couple of home runs against Colby Lewis. And Avila, another one of the Tigers that has good power to the opposite alley. For him, it would be left center field. Pitch high and away, and it's 2-0. Robinson Chirinos very well aware of Austin Jackson at first. He's come up the last couple of pitches checking Jackson, make sure he wasn't taken off. Stolen base leaders, our forward leaderboard showing you that Kansas City on top now with 40. Astros, or I should say the Astros are third. Tigers right behind Kansas City with 39. Rangers down there in fourth spot. Two and 0, the count to Alex Avila.
It's strange to see the Tigers. They were on that leaderboard as far as stolen bases go. That's something that they don't typically have.
Tailing fastball down and away. The count goes to 3-0. Avila way up in front of the count, trying to get aboard now. Put 2 on for Nick Castellanos, third baseman.
Got Chirinos coming out in front of home plate, and what he's doing is he's talking to Elvis and Odor to make sure that, hey, even though it's 3-0, this is a good running count.
Lewis set. 3-0 pitch. Right down through there. 3-1. Avila checking down at third with the third base coach Dave Clark. See what Brad Ausmus might have in mind. Whether Jackson's going to be off and moving or whether he's going to stay put. Rangers playing a couple of steps around to the right on the infield. Lewis with the 3-1 pitch instead goes to first and drives Jackson back. Avila taking his time getting back in. Chirinos flashing out the series of signs, and Colby with a 3-1. Jackson on the move. The pitch is outside and low. The throw would have had him, but it's ball 4. An infield single, a walk, and the Tigers mounting a charge to get back the 2 runs they gave up in the top of the second. Have 2 on, nobody out for Castellanos. Second walk of the game. And Nick Castellanos coming up, a .233 hitter. Conference on the mound now. Elvis over there to talk with the battery of Colby Lewis and Robinson Chirinos. Adrian Beltre, the third baseman, going through the signs for guys in case there is a bunt. Rangers setting up a bunt defense with first and second. Bottom of the order probably is a little bit less likely that you'd have Castellanos bunting in this situation. You have Romine coming up next. If it were Romine hitting, you have the top of the order next, then there'd be no doubt.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm not sure how much Castellanos has bunted at the minor league level.
He's not going to be asked to bunt here, at least on the first pitch, and he eyes strike 1.
No, that's a tall order for a guy that's not used to bunting to be in this situation right now. And like you said, Romine is next, and he's not hitting very well so far this season.
Castellanos with 4 home runs, 20 driven in. Rookie third baseman for the Tigers. The 0-1 pitch to him is off the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby Lewis trying to work around a leadoff single followed by a walk here in the second. Rangers leading 3-1. Tigers don't show any signs of quitting in this one at all. 1-1 pitch is on the way. Now 2-1. Castellanos in this series 1 for 11. Includes being 0 for his last 6 times up there. Got Austin Jackson at second, Alex Avila at first as Lewis sets at the belt and checks the runners. Ground ball to third. Beltre goes to second. That's all they're going to get. He couldn't find the handle on the ball. And for the second time today, the Rangers have had an opportunity to turn a double play, once in the first and once here, and haven't been able to get it done. They do get the force, but we'll see if that's a critical mishandle or not.
Hopefully not, but that ball was hit pretty hard. Castellanos drives it down to Beltre, to Hopper, and Beltre does a great job staying down on it enough, but couldn't get it out of his glove and settles for one at second base.
The runners now at the corners. Jackson at third and Castellanos on at first. Andrew Romine, who you'll remember was, on a long 0 for streak when he started this series, 0 for 20. And 0 for 22 before he hit his first home run as a major leaguer. And since then, he has had a couple more hits. He takes strike one here. But Romine still hitting just 191. A home run on Friday off Scott Baker. It also happened to be on Andrew Romine's father's birthday. 0-1 pitch. Romine bluffing a bunt. That had Adrian Beltre charging toward home from third, but the bluff didn't end up in anything but ball one. Lewis sets at the belt. The pitch fouled away to the left. A ball and 2 strikes. Colby now has put himself in a position to maybe get that strikeout. Runner on third, less than 2 out. That would be, once you get to a 2-strike count, what you would aim for as a pitcher. If Colby doesn't break out that good hard breaking ball of his, back foot slider.
This is the perfect guy to do it to a guy who's not swinging the bat very well.
And he got one. It just stayed up a little bit, and Romine able to get a piece of it. Colby not quite burying that down to the back foot. No, the count remains 1-2. Or Colby, I'd throw that again and make sure I got it down. Left it up again and got foul tip.
He's just missing his spots, inside and outside. He's working the plate well, but just either a little bit too far outside or a little bit too far inside right now.
And as a result, he's already had to throw 42 pitches. And he's got just 1 out here in the second inning. Our Steel pitch tracker showing you the location of that last pitch. Another 1-2 is in the offing. Tried the fastball that time and got it off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Jackson, the runner at first. He began this inning with an infield single. Nick Castellanos over at first, reached on a fielder's choice. Colby Lewis to Austin Romine. Couldn't get it off with the breaking ball, and the count is now full. Well, that gives Brad Ausmus the option of having Castellanos take off from first with just 1 out. Maybe stay out of a double play on a ground ball. Romine hitting 9th in the order. Rajai Davis, the leadoff man, waits in the on-deck circle. Lewis ready for the payoff pitch. Sky down the left side. Michael Choice in the foul territory. The wind pushes that into the third row. Enough of a breeze blowing in from right center field to push that out of play. Well, Romine will try it again. Breeze of maybe 7-8 miles an hour. Rangers defensively, as you can see from that shot, well around to the left in the outfield. Lewis studying the signs, picks out one he wants. Again, the 3-2. Line drive center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Jackson will come down to score. Booting the ball is Martin. That allows both runners to advance 90 feet. and puts runners at second and third as the Tigers have cut the Ranger lead to 3-2. Be an RBI single for Andrew Romine, and then an error by Leonis Martin to allow Castellanos and Romine to advance 90 more feet.
Colby goes down in the zone to Romine, and Romine gets it, goes down and gets it, drives it into left center field. Nice piece of hitting, and Martin comes over and I guess gets caught in between hops. Looks like he took his eye off of it a little bit there and allows the runners both to move into scoring position.
Martin a little frustrated with himself out there in center field, and Mike Maddox out very quickly to talk to Colby Lewis and Robinson Chirinos. So a difficult situation has gotten even more difficult. A run across, runners now at second and third with one out, and the top of the order will face Colby Lewis. Rajai Davis looped a single into right, his first time up there. Rangers will again play the infield back with one out. They will give up the run for an out, and a looping drive to Elvis goes back to third with a throw, not in time. Beltre tried to come off that bag in a hurry to make the catch, and he couldn't trick Lance Barrett, the third base umpire, to call it out. And Ron Washington now is going to make his way out toward third base. I think Adrian had a changeup thrown to him by Elvis.
I think Elvis was a little surprised that Castellanos was off third base there. Wasn't really ready for that, but got it over to Beltre, and Beltre playing like a first baseman, trying to cheat off that bag and get the call a little bit.
And Wash exchanging pleasantries with Lance Barrett out there. And that's why there was no challenge. Got the read from Joey Probinski upstairs. That was relayed down to Tim Bogar, and Bogar probably gave Wash the thumbs down. Said, no, don't challenge. So that is out number 2, and a very big out it was. It prevented a run from scoring. Rangers still have a 3-2 lead, and Ian Kinsler will step to the plate. Kinsler popped out to short, his first time up there. Takes a breaking ball that just nudges the outside corner for strike one. Ten-game hitting streak going for Kinsler. It's the second longest active streak in the American League. Lewis with the 0-1 to Kinsler. A knee-high strike on a fastball. It's 0-2. Remember when Colby Lewis was pitching with the A's? Steel pitch tracker showing the location of those two. He had a streak of facing Kinsler in 5 straight plate appearances, and twice he hit him. He said there's nothing personal about it. It just happened. And Kinsler shoots one to center field. Easy play out there for Leonis Martin. Camps under it, puts it away, and good job by Colby Lewis of working around at second and third and one out without any further damage. A run on 2 hits and an error. On to the third, 3-2 Texas. Park this year. Coca-Cola family packs include 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Coke soft drinks, 2 Kids Zones wristbands, and 1 souvenir program. They're available for $68 in the upper reserve seating or $112 in lower reserve seating. Get yours at TexasRangers.com/specials, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Mitch Moreland will lead off the Ranger 3rd inning. Texas on top 3-2. And Justin Verlander drops in an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Moreland drew a walk in the 1st inning. Rangers have gotten to Verlander for 3 runs on 4 hits and the 1 walk in 2 innings of work. Fastball, and that evens the count now, 1-1. And Verlander, anytime you see that radar reading on Verlander around 90 or maybe a tick or 2 above, that's not him.
No, that's not. And I'm sure he's seeing that, and he's shook his head back that last time getting back up, getting back up there on the mound. So he knows as well.
You see a pitcher do that, and typically that, for a guy like Verlander anyway, would be the mechanics aren't there. It just doesn't feel quite right throwing the ball, and he can't figure out what's causing it. And boy, you get into those situations, and it's very frustrating. The harder you try, the worse it makes it too. And it's hitters do the same thing when they're hitting. They get into a rut where you can't feel where your hands are. You can't feel, your timing is off. You know that, but you can't put your finger on it and make the right adjustment. 2-1 pitch. That's low and inside.
That's the frustrating part, knowing that you're not doing something right. And what's even more frustrating is knowing what you're not doing right and not able to stop yourself from doing it.
Exactly. 3-1 to Moreland. Mitch trying to get aboard to start things off here in the 3rd. 3-2 now. Moreland hitting 3rd in the order. Be followed by the cleanup man and 3rd baseman Adrian Beltre. Mitch on base, but in all but 2 games in his last 21 road games. Rangers a very good road team as far as average in offense. Payoff pitch, foul back. Rangers the 2nd best average for a team on the road this year. They're hitting at 280. Ties them, puts them just a little bit behind Baltimore, who's also hitting at 280 away from home. Another 3-2 coming from Verlander. That ball is hit well to center field. Jackson is going back, still going back on the warning track, and makes the catch. Not 410 feet from home plate, and Moreland has to make a U-turn as he rounded first and head back to the dugout. Now, before Beltre comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break with Dana Larson. Dana. All right, Dana, here's Adrian Beltre with the bases empty and 1 out. The breaking ball is wide. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Beltre flied to center his first time to the plate. Adrian at 281 for the year. Blowing outside. Beltre is continuing his hitting against the Tigers. He's just been phenomenal. He's gone 5 for 12 now in this series. You go back to 4 years ago, since the start of 2010, he's hit .395 against Detroit. It's one of those matchups you kind of scratch your head and say, well, nobody hits .395 against the Tigers, but not with that pitching staff. Adrian has. On the ground by Castellanos into left field, a base hit, and Beltre does it again. So Adrian, a 1-out single. He is aboard. Alex Rios coming up.
Well, ever since earlier in the week when Beltre said, hey, if this team's going to win, I've got to hit. I've got to do better. He's been swinging a hot bat, and that's how he's been leading. He's been leading by example. It's a nice 3-0 pitch inside and drives into left field for another base hit. I don't know if there's anybody that has more fun playing this game.
No, I don't think so. Victor Martinez down there having a good time with it. Rios drives one to right center field and hanging up for Torrey Hunter, who makes the catch. Beltre back to first. There are now 2 outs. And Leonis Martin coming up. Martin grounded out to second base. That ended the Ranger first here this afternoon. Leonis at 284 after that ground out. Last 9 ball games now. Leonis is right at 370. 0-1 after the swinging strike one. Verlander okays the sign. He sets belt high. Now time called as Leonis Martin not quite dug in where he wants to be. Rip and a miss. It is 0-2. Verlander with the next pitch will have 53 this afternoon. Now, he'll typically throw a lot of pitches, but this might be a few more than normal. It's fouled away. He averages about 18 to 19 pitches per inning. That's increased this year. Brad Ausmus, being a former catcher, can appreciate a guy like Verlander who can throw that many pitches and still get you through 7 or 8 innings every time. Outside, breaking ball hung out there, and it's 1-2.
It's got to be a lot of pitches, and sooner or later they're going to catch up to you, aren't they?
Yeah, eventually. Maybe Verlander's doing it in reverse. They're catching up to him early, and then he just gets better as the game goes on.
I didn't like those guys.
Out of play again. No, and that was, I think if you said something typically about very good pitchers, the quality pitchers, is that stay with it, or I should say get him early, because he will stay with it. He will get better as the game goes on if you give him a chance.
Yeah, you get there and you look up, it's the 5th inning and he's still in there. It's like, oh my God, we missed our chance.
Yep, exactly. Another 1-2 in the dirt. Nice stop by Avila. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers 3 runs on 5 hits. Tigers 2 runs on 3 hits. We play in the top of the 3rd. Both ball clubs have committed an error each. 1 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch. Now with 2 away, Beltre will be off and moving with the next Verlander offering. If Leonis Martin is able to keep this inning alive, the home run man, Michael Choice, waits to be next. Verlander checking with Victor Martinez over there, and Victor said, yeah, I'll play behind him now since he's going to be running. Maybe I'll just grab his belt here and hold him for a while. Verlander sets. Beltre on the move. Payoff pitch. Chopper to first, right at the bag. That's where Martinez is. Steps on first. And that'll do it. The Rangers get a base hit, but strand a runner. After 2.5, the Rangers 3, the Tigers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Now, Ranger fans at Comerica Park enjoying a beautiful afternoon. Temperature right around 80 degrees. Kind of a cooling breeze coming in from right center field, and the Rangers on top 3-2. How else would you rather spend your Memorial Day weekend, the Sunday of this holiday weekend, and out here watching the Rangers win? Miguel Cabrera leading off, and Colby Lewis fires strike one. Cabrera walked in the first inning. Colby had Rajai Davis reach third after a stolen base and a balk. He was very careful with Cabrera and couldn't entice Cabrera to swing. He does here, and he hits a sky-high pop-up shallow center field. Coming on, Leonis Martinez still coming on. And makes the catch. He ends up about 40 feet from the infield in center field, looking around to see where Elvis and Odor were. Hey, I had to run all the way in here. What in the world are you guys doing?
Elvis and Odor, they wanted no part of that fly ball, especially with this wind, the sun in the sky. That's one where that infielder, hey, he's just going over to cover second base. Hey, outfielders, you come get this.
Quick reminder, you can join Southwest Airlines in celebrating the arrival of nonstop love. Go to southwest.com/RangersLove to enter to win round-trip tickets. No, I think I'll pass on that one. You come on, and you need some wind sprints, Leonis. No, one out. Disposing of the very tough Miguel Cabrera. Now an equally tough Victor Martinez takes inside for ball one. Martinez is 29th RBI on a fielder's choice groundout. Pretty good rip at that fastball. Take you back to that pop-up.
You look and see, as soon as this ball's hit, Elvis and Odor both go towards second base. They're not going anywhere near that grass in the outfield. That ball was hit too high by Cabrera for an infielder to go back and run back and look up. No, that's an outfielder's ball all the way.
Leonis, he's looking at them like, hey, what are you guys doing? Odor learns very quickly, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Oh, goodness. 2-1 the count to Victor Martinez. Rangers in an overshift now with Martinez up there batting from the left side against Colby. That ball is hammered deep down the right field line, but well foul. It's about 60 feet foul. 2-2. The Tigers a sellout here on Thursday afternoon, a sellout last night. Almost a sellout on Friday. Looks to be another packed house on this Sunday. The 2-2. Got him on the fist, and Martinez fouls it back.
These Tigers fans sure are packing it in, and got some great weather here. I can't remember the weather being this nice ever in Detroit. 4 days in a row.
No humidity and comfortable temperatures. Not much wind. Beautiful blue skies. Lewis to the wind, another 2-2 pitch. Shot down the left field line. That is a fair ball, and it hops into the seats for a ground rule double. By Victor Martinez. You talk about a guy that goes line to line, and he does that when he's swinging the bat from either side. And he has his 12th double of the year with one out here in the third inning.
The Rangers are giving him that whole left side. Beltre is the only one on the infield side over there, and Colby Lewis throwing a tinker down and away, and Martinez stays right with it, drives it, drills it down that left field line. Barely fair, but like you said, using the whole field to hit.
Well, Martinez 1 for 2 out at second base now. Here's Torrey Hunter, who flied to right back in the first. Hard hit ball, one big long hop to Elvis across to Moreland. That is out number 2, and Torrey Hunter, as we had told you, is having trouble against Colby Lewis for his entire career. Continues that. He's 0 for 2 now.
He hit that one pretty hard, but fortunately we had a shortstop standing there.
Next will be Austin Jackson. You got to be, if you're Torrey Hunter too, and you've had that 2 for I think it's 21 now. You got to be saying to yourself, you got to be kidding me, man. I hit that ball right in the nose, and there's somebody there.
You were definitely saying that. What do I need to do to get a hit? I finally hit one hard, and I've got somebody on the other end of it.
Austin Jackson had an infield single his first time up there. It went right over the mound. He takes the first breaking ball just off the outside corner for ball one. Jackson from Denton Ryan High School, Metroplex. Now 6 for 13 in this series. Rip and a miss here. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Austin 2 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. That's 32 games, though. Jackson's kind of slowed down a little bit, hitting right at 260. Was 10th in the American League in the month of April. He hit 310. Plays off that breaking ball, and the count moves to 2-1. Colby Lewis with Victor Martinez at second base. The Steel pitch tracker showing you that last breaking ball. Pretty good pitcher's pitch, but couldn't get Austin Jackson to hack at it. Got him to hack at that one. He swung through it. It's 2-2.
You know, Austin's become a very good hitter, a much better hitter than when he first got to the big leagues. He was very susceptible to that breaking ball. And over the years, he's cut down his strikeouts, learned to recognize that breaking pitch, and lay off of it.
I think it helped him getting out of that leadoff spot, too, in the lineup.
I really do.
There's a swinging strike 3, and Colby Lewis, with his first punch out of the afternoon, works around a 1-out double by Victor Martinez. A runner left. We're going to the 4th. 3-2 Texas. Chevy Hometown Kids every Saturday morning. It's on at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. A very bright, sunny experience out here for the fans at Comerica Park. Rangers leading 3-2 as Michael Choice leads off the Ranger 4th inning. Michael Choice touched off his 3rd home run of the year. He had a towering drive to left field off of Verlander. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. Michael now with the average back up over 200, 204 as he faces Verlander in the 4th inning. Breaking ball is wide. 1-1 the count. Rangers 3 runs on 5 hits and an error through the first 3 innings. Verlander about ready to uncork his 61st pitch of the afternoon, and that ball is driven up the alley in left center field, but Davis gets a good jump on him. Rajai Davis able to run him down just shy of the warning track. And the Michael Joyce just missed hitting that ball on the best part of the bat. That's a long out, number 1.
Michael's being pretty aggressive out there today. I like the fact that he's staying aggressive, even though he hasn't been swinging the bat very well over the last couple of weeks.
Here's Robinson Chirinos. Lashed a double off the wall in left field. His first time up there. Robinson also back over that 200 mark. 207 currently. And he takes ball 1. Verlander to the wind. And drops in a breaking ball. 1-1. This for Chirinos, his 28th start of the year behind the plate. Rangers a game over 500 with him back there, 14-13. A rip and a miss. 1-2 now. I would think if you were going to single out a guy that has been the most pleasant surprise on the Rangers, you'd have to have Robinson Chirinos in that conversation. He's going on strikes here. That's out number 2, and that's the first strikeout for Justin Verlander today. This Memorial Day, Fox Sports is honored to salute our troops. And first at 1 o'clock, Rangers begin a 4-game series in Minneapolis against the Twins. Over on Fox Sports 1 at 7 p.m., the Army's elite compete with each other and push themselves to the limit in the best Ranger competition. Then it's Fox Fight Night, live from Fort Bliss, Texas, beginning at 8 p.m. Two gone for Rougned Odor. And the second baseman takes high and away for ball 1. Odor reached on an error, had a sacrifice bunt, and it was thrown wildly by Verlander. Goes after the next pitch and pops it up. Into foul territory, Victor Martinez. He puts it away, and the Rangers, for the first time this afternoon, are set down in order. We have finished 3.5. The Rangers still leading the Tigers 3-2 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Fourth inning, Mitch Moreland back out on first base. Before the game, we asked Mitch if maybe all of the injuries that have happened to this team have allowed them to finally, at this point, start to be just really loose, go out and just play, and maybe even have a little more fun doing it.
I don't think it would be something that that's like we've touched on, focused on, but maybe a little bit. Maybe we go out and say, well, this is what we got, and we're going to go play ball and play the game hard. And I think that's what we've done the last couple of days, and I think it's kind of showed in the way we've had fun on the field and off the field, and just throughout the games we've played here lately, that seems to be something that kind of stands out.
Mitch went on to say, of course, winning is fun. That's an obvious thing, but it also breeds more winning, and chemistry is so important. He feels like maybe now that they know who they have, the chemistry is developing as it'll be maybe for a long stretch this season, guys.
All right, John. Yeah, you would hope so. Hope the guys here are what's going to be around for a while. The way it's gone, it's tough to tell from one day to the next what the roster is going to look like. Yeah, but those are things that they really can't control and really can't focus on. Like Mitch said, they've got to focus on the game at hand, what they've got to do today, and whoever's here, that's who's here. And hopefully they can all come together and gel a little bit, because there are a lot of new faces and some young faces that haven't been in the big leagues before. Alex Avila leading off the Tigers' fourth inning. He takes a strike at the knees, and Colby Lewis has the advantage in the count at 1-2. Avila drew a walk back in the second inning. Veteran in the 3 games in this series is 1 for 9. Colby trying to run that breaking ball in toward his back foot. 2-2 the count. Rangers shifted around to the right, although not in an overshift against Avila. Elvis Andrus about 4 or 5 steps to the left of second base. That fastball up and in. The count is now full. So Avila trying to get aboard to start the Tiger fourth. He'll be followed by the third baseman, Nick Castellanos. Colby to the wind, the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4, and Avila has walked for the second time. Third walk issued by Lewis this afternoon, and Castellanos coming up. Colby working Avila in and out. Last couple of pitches were in, ball 2 and ball 3, and tried to go away from him on that last pitch and just missed the outside corner. Colby now trying to work around the leadoff walk. Castellanos on via a fielder's choice in the second inning. He goes after that first breaking ball and doesn't get it. It's 0-1. Castellanos, one of the highly touted Tiger rookies, was their top position prospect at the minor league level. Decided to go with him at third base. Gave Miguel Cabrera a chance to move on over across the diamond to first base this year after they had traded Prince Fielder. 1 ball and 1 strike to Castellanos. Colby trying to induce that double play grounder. The pitch is just low. It's 2-1. Castellanos checking with Dave Clark down there at third base. Clarkie running back away from home plate. He shades his hitters around. There goes the runner from first. The pitch swung on and missed. The throw to second. Avila is out from here to Pontiac. The missed hit and run, and Avila doesn't have that great of speed, so it's going to make him look bad. But again, Robinson Chirinos able to gun down an opposing base stealer. Well, Brad Osmond's trying to get something going here and putting his runner in motion, trying to get a little hit and run action working. Castellanos swings through it, and that's pretty much a dead duck being Avila out there. He's not a base stealer, not really trying to steal the base in that situation. And Chirinos comes up, fire, and throws him out. Well, Chirinos 12 caught now in 27 attempts. Has been just outstanding behind the plate. Lewis with another full count. This one to Castellanos. Payoff pitch on the way. Outside and low, ball 4. And Colby with back-to-back walks. Thank goodness for the caught stealing. 4 this afternoon and 3 1/3 for Colby Lewis. And Robinson Chirinos going out there and going to have a chat with his veteran right-hander. Pitch count inning by inning. 50 pitches the first 2 innings. Settled down in the third, but now here in the fourth, 12 pitches with a couple of walks and only 1 out. Andrew Romine will be next. And Romine had an RBI single in the second inning that drove home the latest Detroit run. Romine now with 4 RBI. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that drops over the outside corner for strike 1. Tigers had some injury problems. They lost Iglesias, their shortstop, early this year, and had to try and make do with what they could at short. Finally went out and got Romine from the Angels. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Romine, one of the utility type players that the Angels had. He was an extra one. They're now playing shortstop more or less every day for the Tigers. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. 3 straight pitches after the second walk of the inning, and Colby Lewis gets his second strikeout, and that'll take the Tigers back to the top of the order for Rajai Davis.
And this is the pitch that Colby was trying to throw to Romine to get him to swing at him that last at bat, but just couldn't get it down and bury it down there by that back foot.
A 2 away. Rajai Davis 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first inning. And last time up, a humpback liner out to Elvis at shortstop. Takes the first pitch right down through there for strike 1. Colby, by the way, with 4 walks today. That is the most he has allowed in any one game this year. Walks throughout Colby's career since he came back from Japan and joined the Rangers have not been an issue. It was a good breaking ball that Davis went after with no success. 0-2 now the count.
It's a good pitch by Colby. That slider off the outside part of the plate. And for that right-handed hitter, it looks like a fastball that's going to be on that outside corner, and they go after it time and time again, and it breaks away from them and falls off the outside part of the plate time and time again.
Tried that again, and Rajai Davis said no, not twice in a row. Maybe 2 out of 3, but not twice in a row.
You know, as that pitcher, you know, if a guy swings at a pitch that's a foot off the plate, throw the next one a foot and a half off the plate. See if he goes at that one.
Exactly. The 1-2 from Lewis. Runner on the move, and the pitch is lined to center field. Leonis Martin has this one measured, makes the grab, and that will do it. So Colby gets away with a couple of walks in the inning. Tigers strand 1. We're going to the 5th inning. Rangers 3, Tigers 2. Progressive. This road trip continues on to Minneapolis after this afternoon's game. Then it's 4 with the Twins at Target Field. Washington, the final stop, 3 games against the Nationals before the Rangers come back home and take on the Orioles, the Indians, and the Marlins. An 8-game homestand. Make your plans to come on out for those ball games. The Rangers back in town for those 8 games to start off the month of June. Here the Rangers leading 3-2 as Justin Verlander back to the hill. He will face the top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo, to start things off. Rangers leading 3-2. They have out-hit the Tigers by a 5-4 count. Shin-Soo Choo 1 for 2 today with a run scored. Shows a bunt, pulled the bat head back, and no swing, no attempt, says Lance Barrett at the bunt. 1 ball and no strikes. Choo opened up the game by lining one off the glove of Ian Kinsler for a base hit. Came around to score on the infield single by Alex Rios. 2 balls, no strikes. And it looked like last inning, Mac, that Justin Verlander was getting into that rhythm, starting to throw with a little more pop on the ball. And now he's come out this inning and thrown pitches that make you wonder if he feels like he's doing that.
Yeah, he's just having trouble finding that rhythm, finding that spot. You know, and when you see him start to put things together, then you start saying, oh, okay, do we have enough? But then he comes back out, like you said, and he's got 3 consecutive balls, and none of which have been close to the strike zone.
He wants a new baseball, and Jeff Gosney, the home plate umpire, will comply with it. 3-0 the count to Shin-Soo Choo. Verlander back to the plate. Throws one right down the middle. Well, Verlander, 5 straight years of 200 or more strikeouts. 7 straight years of 200 or more innings pitched. Model of consistency. The 3-1 on the way. High and tight, ball 4, and Choo on base again as he draws the leadoff walk. That for Verlander, just his 2nd walk, but his 1st walk since the 1st inning. And it brings up Elvis Andrus.
This is when you really want to take advantage of him. You're in the 5th inning now. He's still not finding that rhythm, and you really want to string something together, especially at the top of the order. You got your leadoff guy on. This is that time you want to take advantage and hopefully knock him out of the ball game.
Elvis takes a breaking ball that hangs inside for ball 1. Andrus 0 for 2. He popped up a bunt attempt in the 1st. Last time up in the 2nd, skied to center field. Yesterday, a good day for Elvis. 2 out of 6. His first multi-hit game in a couple of weeks. The snap throw drives Choo back. Now let's see if Ron Washington tries to get something going the way that Brad Ausmus did in the last half of an inning. Choo and Andrus have teamed up a number of times this year to work a little hit and run. Verlander probably well aware of that. He's going to make sure that Choo doesn't get a walking lead. Elvis, of course, handles the bat as well as anybody on the Ranger club. He likes to hit the ball to the right side, and pretty good hole over there. Again, Verlander driving Choo back.
You know, that number 2 spot in the batting order, that is such a nice spot to hit in, if you're not a power hitter, obviously.
Right.
A guy that can handle the bat. A lot of times you have this situation here where you've got that hole over there on the right side, and you can use your hands. You can pick up a lot of base hits over there.
Ball 2 is high, and Verlander, if body language means anything, Justin Verlander doesn't feel good about what he's carrying out there with him today.
Not at all. And we can see it. You know, he's looking at the scoreboard, seeing that velocity down and knowing that it's down, and he may feel that, hey, he's out there doing everything that he can. Why isn't it working?
Yeah.
But you can definitely see the frustration in that body language.
That's exactly what it looks like, too. It's frustration. It's, okay, I've tried A, B, C, and D. I don't have a plan E. You know, so now what do we do? Figure something else out. Ground ball slowly hit to the left side and right through the legs of Romine. Choo, who stopped at 2nd, heads on to 3rd. And Elvis safely aboard at 1st on the error. Andrew Romine, who looked like he was screened out by Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, that's a tough play. That's one of the things that Castellanos is going to have to figure out. That's the second time in this series that he's gone in front of the shortstop to make a play, and not he didn't make the play the first time and caused the shortstop to miss it there. You see him ranging as a third baseman. You're told and taught, hey, go get everything you possibly can, but you've also got to know where your shortstop is. If you know your shortstop's in position to make the play, then you give way to that. That's not one of those really slow rollers, super slow rollers that that third baseman can come over and get.
Yeah, Romine's going to be charged with the error, but that could be effectively one of those errors on each one of them. A half error.
Yeah. There you go. Split it up a little bit.
Yeah. No, the Rangers now really an opportunity to do some damage here. They've got the middle of the order coming up, runners at the corners, and nobody out. This might be the one opportunity they've had in the middle of a game lately against Verlander to really get to him. Moreland 0 for 1, a walk and a fly ball to center. Goes after that first pitch and shoots it foul down the left side and back into the seats. It is 0-1. Now Mitch 0 for 1 today, now hitting at .269 as he faces Verlander. Top of the 5th inning. Runners at first and third. Rangers trying to get something going. They lead 3-2, but they would like to pad that advantage. Toss to first. Elvis is spinning his wheels getting back. It was a little closer than it needed to be. Elvis over there talking to Benji Molina.
Benji giving him some tips on how to steal second here.
That's right. Yeah. Elvis, don't forget, I had a cycle now. I had that triple. Let me tell you how to run the bases. Elvis, a stolen base in yesterday's game. It had been a while, too, for Elvis. He'd been stuck on 12 stolen bases for a while. 0-1, the count to Moreland. Verlander okays the sign. And Mitch fouls back a high fastball. It is 0-2.
His last couple of pitches from Verlander, 93 on that one and 94 the pitch before. He's heating it up a little bit here. Might be a little bit of due to a little bit of frustration on that play not being made.
Yeah, get a little bit of that redneck going. Boy, you get that heat coming up from between your ears, and the back of that neck turning red. Start getting a little angry. 0-2 pitch is high, but that's also a classic Verlander. As soon as he got in trouble, you'd see an extra 2, 3, 4 miles an hour on that fastball if he needed it. You wouldn't see it all day until then. When he's throwing well, you go from 93, 94 up to about 98 real quick. That's not happening today yet. 1-2, the count to Mitch. There goes Elvis. The pitch is lined to center field. Falling in a hurry. It's down for a base hit. Elvis read it well. He keeps on going to third. In to score is Shin-Soo Choo. And Mitch Moreland with the RBI base hit extends the Ranger lead. It's now 4-2.
Beautiful piece of hitting by Mitch Moreland. Got a little off-speed pitch after seeing 93, 94, and 93. And dunks it into center field. And Elvis was on the move. And this is a beautiful read by Elvis. And when you're running the bases, you have to be aware of where the ball is. And that third base coach isn't always going to be able to help you. You've got to find that baseball. And Elvis did that. He was able to read it. You see him looking at the ball all the way. He doesn't even look at Gary Pettis. Gary can't help him in that situation. And he saw the ball was going to fall and kept going right down to third.
Shot right over the bag at third. It's going to be a base hit for Beltre. Elvis scores. And that roller, that got in so far inside on Beltre, he couldn't hit it hard. He rolled one right over the bag for the infield RBI single.
I think it took a couple of knuckles with him, but hey, he'll give him up for that RBI single, that's for sure.
Well, it is now a 5-2 Ranger lead.
Verlander gets way in. That pitch is almost a foot inside and diving in even further. I don't know how Beltre was able to keep it fair. Castellanos comes up with it, but doesn't really get a good grip, and Beltre still beat it out down the line.
If you ask Adrian about that, he'll say, hey, look, when you can hit, you can hit, right? It doesn't matter. He's 2 for 3. Well, the Rangers now with a 3-run advantage. Still nobody out. Moreland at second, Beltre at first, and Alex Rios takes strike 1.
Well, Beltre's pulling out his whole game. We've seen the power game. We've seen a few infield hits in this series. He's doing it all.
In the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rios. Alex had an RBI infield single back in the first inning. 1 for 2. Now the RBI total at 27 for the year. Beltre's, by the way, up to 19. He and Moreland keeping pace with each other. Mitch getting his lead out there at second, right at the bottom of your screen. Verlander checks him as he sets. And the fastball inside, a check swing by Rios. Now 2-1 the count. Alex entered play today 8th in the American League with a .316 average. It's now .318 as he faces Verlander here in the 5th. The 2-1 offering to left center field, and that is up the alley. It's going to the wall. Around third is Moreland. He will score. Beltre being waved around. Going to third is Rios. The slide. He is in safely with a 2-run triple. The Rangers have broken it open against Verlander and lead 7-2. How about that?
Nice piece of hitting, and this is that inning. This is when they needed to get to him, especially getting Chu, the leadoff hitter, on, and they've definitely taken advantage of it. A couple of miscues defensively, and Rios gets a fastball down and in and drives this into the gap and allows 2 runs to score. Rios right. He doesn't even look like he's running.
Well, he's not staying in one place very long. I know that. No, nobody out. Rios at third. Rangers with a 4 spot here in the 5th, looking for more. And Leonis Martin takes a breaking ball that just hits the top of the strike zone. Evan Reed, right-hander, up and loosening quickly in the Tiger bullpen. The Rangers have gotten to Verlander for 7 runs, 6 of them earned. As Martin fouls it back. This is the 3rd straight start now for Verlander to allow at least 5 runs. 7 runs allowed today, the most that he's allowed against Texas since about this time last year. This time a week ago.
Well, they hit him well, and this is one of those teams he has trouble with. He just doesn't dominate this Rangers ball club like he does a lot of other clubs.
0-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow center. Austin Jackson never saw it, but the left fielder Rajai Davis did. And he's able to come on to make the grab. Rios staying at third base. He's there now with 1 out. And Michael Choice coming up.
Even though Verlander's struggling a little bit, he's not going to give you very many chances to hit him. Martin had a fastball that he fouled straight back, and that was the only pitch that he got to hit in that at bat. Verlander had him where he wanted to, and he executed a pitch and got Martin out in front to get him to pop up.
Now here's Michael Choice, who homered his first time up. Last time fly to left field. He takes a breaking ball that's wide for ball 1. Again, the Tigers playing that infield all the way in. They're trailing 7-2. Trying to cut down the run carried by Alex Rios at third base. Verlander working from the windup. And Choice, a ground ball, and Castellanos not diving for it. He fell for it. Made the grab and throws out Michael Choice, 2 gone. So it'll take Robinson Chirinos base hit if the Rangers are to score again. Castellanos looked like the leaning tower of Pisa. Just kept on going over on that one.
Didn't even move. Just went down and got it.
With 2 away now, the Tiger infield able to go back to normal depth. Chirinos 1 for 2. Doubled in the first. Struck out in the 4th. Verlander's first pitch to it. There's a knee-high strike on the inside corner. Rangers have used an error in this inning and a couple of well-timed RBI base hits. They put 4 on the board. Increase their advantage to 7-2 against Verlander. Also got Verlander up to over 90 pitches now, and he's not quite through 5 innings. Got time called for Chirinos stepping out of the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1. Our Budweiser pitching line for Justin Verlander this afternoon. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them to this point are earned. Most runs he's allowed this season. 2 walks and just 1 strikeout. And that breaking ball finds the outer edge. It's 2-2. Verlander into the wind, the 2-2 pitch. Up the middle, behind second base, and Kinsler knocks it down but can't come up with it cleanly. It knocked Verlander to the ground as it went by him. In to score is Alex Rios. It's an 8-2 Ranger lead.
Wow, that's a comeback. A great at bat by Chirinos. Big 2-out RBI. You want to score as many runs as you possibly can against Verlander as long as he's out there. Chirinos stays back on this breaking ball. Doesn't get it on the fat part of the bat, but takes it right back up the middle and off of Verlander, and Kinsler can't make the play either on it off the glove of Verlander.
Justin Verlander going to check his uniform, see if he's got a target on it. 8-2. The Rangers have put 5 on the board here in the 5th inning. And Rougned Odor, the 9th Ranger hitter to come to the plate, takes ball 1. Odor 0 for 1. Popped out in foul territory last time. Goes after the next pitch and skies to center field. Austin Jackson into the alley and left center puts it away, and that'll do it. But the Rangers put a 5 spot on the board. They had 4 hits, an error, and lead 1. Halfway through the ball game, the Rangers 8, the Tigers 2. Presented by Avoderm Natural Pet Food and Nylabone. The event takes place on Thursday, June 5th. You can enjoy a pregame dog parade before the Rangers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Advanced registration is required, and it closes tomorrow. So hurry and visit TexasRangers.com/barkinthepark today. Rangers have let the dogs loose this afternoon. They are leading 8-2 as Ian Kinsler starts off the Tiger fifth by taking a strike from Colby Lewis. Kinsler 0 for 2. He has that 10-game hitting streak on the line here this afternoon. And he skies one to right field. Coming hard is Alex Rios, and time to get there for the rangy right fielder. That's out number 1. Well, Kinsler 0 for 3 as he makes a U-turn and heads back to the third base dugout. Now Miguel Cabrera.
It's a big out for Colby Lewis there, getting that leadoff hitter, especially after the team just put a 5 spot on the board.
Cabrera, a fly ball to center field in the third. He walked in the first. First pitch, strike 1. The Coors Light Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The American League in batting average for each of the last 3 years. Last Tiger to do that before Cabrera. How about Ty Cobb? Line drive to left, but Michael Choice back there. Now has to come in and go to his knees. That had some topspin on it. Michael stays with it for out number 2. And let's head back for a Mazda game break with Dana Larson. Dana? All right, Dana, thank you. Colby Lewis making quick work of Kinsler and Cabrera to open up the 5th inning. Here's Victor Martinez, who takes a strike on the inside corner. Martinez doubled his last time. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Colby's next pitch. That fastball sails high. 1-1. Colby had that pitch count up dangerously high after the last couple of innings. Hoping for a quick inning here in the 5th. Kind of calm things down a bit. Chopper foul outside first. That moves the count to a ball and 2 strikes to Victor Martinez.
Yeah, this inning, if he has a quick inning here, this can get him another inning out there. And, you know, he might be able to reach get to that 7th inning.
Colby last time out, as Mac told you, his longest outing of the year at 6 complete innings. That was the first time that he had gotten through 6, even though it was in a loss to Seattle. 1-2 pitch. Pop foul. That will be pushed into the seats by the breeze. And we'll try a 1-2 again. Colby has kind of had an alternating thing going as Ron Washington keeps an eye on things. Last time out, Colby gave up 5 against Seattle. Time before that, he shut out Houston for 5 2/3. Before that, 7 runs against Colorado. Before that, 2 runs in 6 innings against the Angels. So he's due now for another good outing here. Base hit to right by Victor Martinez. He is 2 for 3. Well, he's aboard with 2 outs, and Torrey Hunter now coming up.
Colby trying to throw that cutter down and in, and Victor Martinez stays right on it. You see the head down on it, gets the head of the bat through it, and drives it into right field for another hit off Colby Lewis.
It's pretty much a clinic in hitting right there, isn't it?
Wow.
Mechanically.
When you look at him last time up, he hits a double down the left field line, and he pulls one here in the hole. And those are your best hitters, the guys that can hit from line to line. They take what the pitcher gives them. They don't try to do too much with a particular pitch. You know, they're not up there trying to yank the ball out of the ballpark every time. And, you know, Victor Martinez obviously can do that. He's got 12 home runs on the year. But this is a hitter that uses the entire field to hit.
Torrey Hunter took ball 1 to start things off against Colby this time. Hunter 0 for 2. He was thinking fastball since he'd seen a breaking ball in the first pitch, and Colby said, no, I'll try this again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey Hunter is grounded out and flied out. Fastball to the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, here are 3 things you need to know about Torrey Hunter. 5-time American League All-Star. Marvin Miller Man of the Year in 2007, which is very, very prestigious, and the 2009 Branch Rickey Award winner. Appeal down to first base umpire Ron Culp. He said no swing. Talk about an all-around person, a great ball player. We all know that, but what a tremendous person Torrey Hunter is, and a great representative for baseball.
He really is. He's definitely an ambassador of baseball, and a great player, but a better person off the field.
Fouled out of play, still 2-2.
You look at a guy like Torrey Hunter, comes to the ballpark to play each and every day, plays for his teammates, doesn't play for individual numbers, and every year he has great numbers, and usually he's on a winning ball club, and he's usually at the center of all that.
Off the end of the bat, out to Elvis. He will underhand to Odor at second, and that'll do it for the Tigers. They get a 2-out single, but strand their 6th runner of the game. We have finished 5. Rangers 8, Tigers 2. Inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $1,000 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Today the Rangers are hitting for Roxana Krasinski from Coppell. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Roxana Krasinski from Coppell is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Top of the Ranger order here in the 6th inning to face Justin Verlander, who has allowed 8 runs on 9 hits to the Rangers in the first 5 innings. And Shin-Soo Choo lofts a fly ball to left on the first pitch. Rajai Davis ambles over toward the line, makes the catch. That is out number 1. So Choo, who had walked and singled in the 3 previous at-bats, flies out to start the Rangers 6th, and that brings up Elvis Andrus. Elvis hit the ground ball that went through the wickets of Andrew Romine last inning and really set the stage for a 5-run outburst by the Rangers and got things going. Elvis 0 for 3, but he did come around to score a very big run. 1 ball, no strikes. Elvis trying to give himself a little hitting lesson there in the batter's box. Keep the hands back, go through contact. How many conversations, Mac, did you have with yourself in the batter's box trying to say, hey, wait a minute, do this?
Way too many. That was probably my problem. Pitchers had me talking to myself up there.
There's a shot fair down the left field line. Whatever Elvis told himself, it was right, because he's going to get at least 2 bases to jog into second. Davis playing the ball back in, and Andrus with his first hit of the afternoon, a ringing double. He's aboard with his 12th 2-bagger of the year.
Well, it's a good thing he listened to himself, because he got a hanging breaking ball and kept it fair. Drove it down that left field line, and it worked.
Well, like folks say, it's not bad talking to yourself as long as you don't get any answers. But Elvis apparently got the right answer. Now, that is the 10th base hit by the Rangers off of Verlander here today. 1 on, 1 out in the 6th. Mitch Moreland had a RBI single his last time to the plate. Ball 1 is low. Moreland 1 for 2. The RBI his 19th of the year. That batting average now up to 275. Verlander a check of second. And Moreland cues one down the left field line. It is a foul ball. Foul, and not by much. Well, Lance Barrett, the third base umpire, right on top of the line. He had a look at that one. That was right. That was mishit off the end of the bat, and had to have some serious English on it. That thing looked like it sliced about 15 yards.
It did. That was tough to follow. I don't think Mitch really knew where he hit it.
Ron Washington gets the word that, hey, you may want to go out there and challenge that. We have just seen the replay, and well, that replay looked like it hit right on the chalk at first glance anyway. You see from this angle what might have been. Yeah, that kicked up chalk.
Yeah, it did.
And Ron Washington out there talking to Lance Barrett, and they're going to go ahead and challenge it. And I think they're going to have a pretty good case to be made here. So Lance Barrett, the third base umpire who made that call, along with the first base umpire Ron Culpa, will come over and grab the headsets. They will be hooked up to the replay command center in New York. The umpires in the command center will look at all the video and make the determination whether the call can be upheld or overturned, whether there's clear and convincing evidence enough to overturn it. And then the question would be, assuming it's if it were overturned, where do you place the runners? That would be the next point.
Well, I've got to think that Elvis was going to score on that easily, and Mitch would end up at second base.
That would, yeah, that would be where I think the most logical place to put him. So there will be a bit of a delay. The replays have been running much more smoothly, let's put it that way, as time has gone on this year. They're averaging about a minute and 35 to 45 seconds, which I think is very reasonable. If you're going to get the play right, that's very little price to pay for it.
It really is, and that's really the bottom line. Whether the call goes for you or against you, you want the call to be right. You want whatever it is that they're looking at to be right, and that is the main point.
They're taking a couple of looks. The shots that they have available in New York. Of course, we don't have all those angles available to us, but the folks at the Replay Command Center will get all those angles and hopefully see the best one that can determine conclusively whether that ball was on the line or just foul. And if the hit does go on the books as a base hit for Mitch Moreland, that will be the 11th hit given up by Verlander this afternoon, and that would match his season high, which he, by the way, gave up last time out against the Cleveland Indians. But either way, it's going to be back-to-back tough outings for Verlander. And that is a fair ball. Mitch Moreland going out to second base. He will have the RBI double. And Elvis trotting around from second, touches the bag at third. He will race home, and the Rangers' lead will increase. Mitch Moreland with the RBI two-bagger. Thanks to replay, it is now a 9-2 Ranger lead. So back-to-back doubles. Andrus and Moreland. Mitch getting his 20th RBI of the year with his two-bagger. Rangers now with a 7-run lead. And that challenge play and the replay took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to view. Adrian Beltre takes a breaking ball for strike one.
Well, even though that replay review took a little bit longer than normal. It was worth the challenge there because you still have Verlander on the hill and you still have a lot of innings left to play against this Tigers offense, and you want to get as many runs on the board as you possibly can.
And the guy out there that has already advanced the Ranger cause this afternoon, Adrian Beltre, fouls the next pitch back. He is down in the count now, 0-2. Beltre 2 for 3. Had an infield RBI single last time up. Moving up the all-time home run leadership board. Adrian Beltre tied with Albert Bell for 64th all-time. 381 home runs. Inside and low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beltre hit one yesterday down the left field line that went about 7 or 8 rows deep into the seats, and that's a pretty good poke. Remember, we told you that the fences were brought in some 20 or 25 feet, and to get it into the seats is pretty good distance by itself. But to hit it 10 rows back or so, that's putting a charge into it.
Yeah, you don't see very many balls going the upper portion of the seating out there in left field, because that is getting close to 400 feet out there to left field. So
it's a good $15 cab ride, I think, right down that line. Pitch is low, and the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2. So Beltre trying to get aboard for the 3rd time this afternoon. 1 out with Moreland at second. Alex Rios, the Ranger number 5 hitter, will follow Beltre in the order. Verlander a check of second. The payoff pitch down the right side, and that will slice into the seats. We'll come back and try it again. That last pitch from Verlander at 94, but even his 94 today doesn't look like a typical Verlander 94. Looks like it's pretty straight.
Right, and that's the big difference for Verlander. His normal 94 is moving. It's diving, it's moving somewhere, and that's what makes him so difficult to hit when he's on.
That's inside the walk, and that may do it for Justin Verlander. Brad Ausmus bounces out of the Tiger dugout, and Verlander, well, all you can say is it's been a real struggle for him today. He has battled as much as he could. He's thrown over 100 pitches. 109 pitches as Ausmus making his way out to the mound. And he takes the ball from Verlander. Probably not a very pleasant chore for the first-year skipper, but he's going to make the call to the bullpen. So Verlander finished with 5 1/3 innings of work. He leaves trailing 9-2 and property aboard of his as he leaves the game. So a pitching change underway. We'll be back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Is the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign that honors the families of fallen service members. To learn more, visit goldstarpins.org. Well, Justin Verlander gone for the afternoon. He has tied his career high by giving up 9 runs, and he still has property aboard. It's his responsibility. He turns the game over to Evan Reed.
The Sonic scouting report on Evan Reed. This is his 19th game with an 0-1 record. 2.72 ERA in 19 and a third innings. 5 walks, 16 strikeouts, a couple of home runs, and opponents are hitting .284 off of him.
So Reed, the former Ranger farmhand, taking over here with runners at first and second. 1 out. Alex Rios, who is 2 for 3, is at the plate. And the first pitch, a good fastball for strike 1. You got Moreland at second, Beltre at first. Reed, the 28-year-old, with a high set. Tried the slider, and Alex checked his swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rios, an RBI infield single in the first. A 2-run triple in the 5th inning. He eventually came around to score in that frame also. 1-1 pitch from Reed. Another breaking ball, and again a check swing. 2-1 the count. Rangers saw Reed here on Thursday afternoon. Worked an inning and a third. They touched him for a couple of runs on 4 hits. It was that 9-2 Ranger win in the opener. Chopper toward the hole at short to second, and the return to first not nearly in time. Kinsler just throwing it, hoping, but Alex able to beat that back throw out very easily. So runners to the corners and 2 away now for Leonys Martin. Mentioned the 9 runs charged to Verlander. And this would change, obviously, if Mitch Moreland came in to score, but he had not given up 9 since 2008. That was when he set his career high against the Cleveland Indians. First pitch, Leonys Martin is chopped out to short. On to first, and that'll do it. The Rangers put another on the board on a couple of hits. They strand 2. 5.5 in the books. Rangers 9 and the Tigers 2 on Fox Sports Southwest. Your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. And the best here at Comerica, at least for the last 4 games, 3 of the 4 games anyway, the Texas Rangers They're leading the Tigers again this afternoon 9-2 as Colby Lewis goes to work in the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin Jackson takes outside for ball 1. Jackson, Avila, and Castellanos to face the 34-year-old Colby Lewis. Popped up. Shallow center, going out Odor. Coming on Leonis Martin. 1 gone. But Jackson 1 for 3 as he heads back to the Tiger dugout. Now Alex Avila, who has walked both times, and he's faced Colby Lewis this afternoon. It's been an odd series. The Rangers and Tigers, the losing team in the first 3 games had exactly 2 runs. The winning team had either 7 or 9 or 12. And Rangers again holding the Tigers to just 2 runs so far this afternoon and putting 9 on the board themselves. So the margin of victory has been fairly large. Avila sends one to center field, hit pretty well. A lot of room out there, and Leonis Martin using up part of it. Hauls it in. That's out number 2. And Colby Lewis putting Martin to work in center field. Has 2 quick outs, and now Nick Castellanos.
Well, Colby helping himself out here to go deeper in the ball game. Got 2 real quick outs last inning. Gave up a hit to Martinez and got that 3rd out. And here again in the 6th inning doing the same thing.
Colby, as you can see, at 101 pitches thus far. First pitch to Castellanos is inside and low for ball 1. Tiger third baseman has walked and been on via a fielder's choice. One more note on the scoring in this series. Rangers so far have outscored the Tigers 32-13 in the first 3 games plus today. And for all of you folks that had 32, and for how many in the poll on how many runs the Rangers would score against the Tigers in this series, hold your hand up. No, I didn't think so. Not many of you. Us included.
Yes, you're right. Yes, we have to be in there as well.
1-2 pitch. And the count evens. But it's great to see. You know, in the ball club, and what Mitch Moreland was talking about, Mac, about realizing who you are, what you have, and just saying, hey, we have to go out and play with it. And focus for a club like this. They know they have some guys that can play, that some producers, and they're producing, and it's as simple as that. That's not to say it's going to happen every day, but when they get the right mindset and get each other going, it's a very effective group.
It really is. And you know, a lot of these guys haven't played together very long, but they understand what they've got to do. The games are on the schedule. You've got to go play the games, and you don't know what's going to happen. That's why you play the schedule out. So for these guys to come out and play the way they played here in Detroit is something that's not surprising. Obviously, they've got it in them, as we've seen. So hopefully they can just be consistent with it. And, you know, they're not going to win every game, obviously, but if you take it series by series and just get back to that mindset and not worry about all the other things that are going on, all the other distractions with the injuries and you know, young guys coming up to take spots, you can't worry about that. You've got to go out there and play baseball.
Castellanos draws his 2nd walk of the day, a 2-out pass here in the 6th. And now Andrew Romine coming up. And with that walk, see a little bit of activity starting to brew out in the Ranger bullpen as Ron Washington is headed to the mound. And he's going to make the change. So the Rangers have had Robbie Ross Jr. up there in Aleutian. You can't see from where we are about who's throwing out there, but Robbie apparently, either that or he warms up quicker than anybody in the history of basebal.
1 or 2 when he's ready to go.
That's right. So Colby Lewis finished after 5 2/3. He leaves leaving. He's ahead 9-2. He is finished. Robbie Ross coming on. We'll take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. 2/3. He leaves leading 9-2 and turns things over to the left-hander Robbie Ross Jr. in his second relief outing.
Well, the Sonics got a report on Robbie Ross. It's his 11th game, 1-4 record. He started the season off starting, but like Bud said, this is his second outing out of the bullpen. 49 2/3 innings pitched, so he's back in that familiar role in that bullpen, and he's here to get a few outs here in the 6th inning, trying to get Colby and Lewis out of this jam here.
Now, Robbie inherits Nick Castellanos at first, 2 outs. Andrew Romine, the switch hitting shortstop, will step up. Romine 1 for 2 with an RBI single against Colby Lewis today. Ross ready, the first pitch is right down through there. 0-1. Romine with a second inning single drove in his 4th run as a member of the Tigers. Rip and a miss, and it's 0-2. Now things with Ross going back to the bullpen, with Tanner Scheppers getting ready to get back into the bullpen. It looks like that's really going to calm things down a bit. The Rangers have been in flux as Romine shoots one to right field for a base hit. That pitch staying up and out over the plate, and Romine just banged it the other way. 2 on with 2 outs, and Rajai Davis coming up.
Robbie Ross has Romine down in the count 0-2, and leaves a pitch out over the middle of the plate. And Romine just punches it into right field for a single.
That's kind of the problem that Robbie had as a starter. That when he tried to get inside of the right-hander and didn't get it in there. His mistakes were coming back over the middle of the plate, and that's not a good spot to make mistakes.
Well, if you're going to miss, you want to miss off the plate, not out over the middle of the plate.
And Davis hits one to short. Elvis up with it, firing to first, and that will do it. So the 2-out single, no damage. The Tigers strand a couple. We're going to the 7th inning here in Detroit. 9-2, Rangers on top. Rangers today with a pair of hits. Well, that first time up, he just smoked the double to left field. That was his first safety of the afternoon. Then a rifled shot back up the middle off of Verlander for an RBI single. And Robinson Chirinos joining a lot of Ranger teammates by running up a 9-2 lead through 6 innings. Rangers 3, 4, and 5 hitters today are 6 for 10 combined with 6 RBI, 3 runs scored. All that off Justin Verlander, career high tying 9 runs allowed today for the Tigers ace. No, a 7-run advantage for the Rangers, looking for more here in the top of the 7th inning, facing Evan Reed. And Michael Choice takes high for ball 1. Choice, Chirinos, and Odor. Michael, that leadoff home run back in the second off of Verlander, his third home run of the year. The pitch on the outside corner. Our AT&T Uverse Rewind taking you back to the second inning. First pitch of the inning by Verlander. That ball had hang time that'd make any NFL punter proud. That thing was up there forever.
You saw him running around the bases. He was just about 2 steps away from second base when that ball landed in the really.
I believe it. And he gets fisted pretty badly by Evan Reed, and it's a little foul pop to Victor Martinez for out number 1. Now Robinson Chirinos. He showed you his 2 base hits, the double and the single. He has driven in 1, his 9th of the year. He has scored a run also this afternoon. Average up to 213 as he faces Reed in the 7th inning. Rip and a miss. We had a lot of those folks hanging around the hotel and down toward the riverfront yesterday. Oh, there was all kinds. They had a concert going down there, and I was walking around. And I didn't really feel like I could relate to a lot of folks.
I don't know. I saw a few of those on my floor.
Did you?
Yeah, kind of keeping up a pretty good ruckus.
I'd probably make a lot of noise too if my hair looked like that. 0-2 the count to Chirinos. The fastball sails high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rangers 11 hits this afternoon, putting 9 on the board. Had 12 in their 12-2 win yesterday. They tied their season best with 19 hits in that game. Chirinos gone on strikes as Reed gets the punch out. 2 gone. Rangers also had season highs in yesterday's game with 33 total bases and 8 extra base hits.
Look at yesterday's ball game, and it was the bottom of the order that did a lot of the damage yesterday.
Yep.
And today it's the middle part of the order, and that's what it's going to take with this team. You can't rely on 2 or 3 guys every day. You want it to be 1 through 9 and spread out, evenly if you can. Actually, you'd really want the middle, the top 6.
Yeah.
To do the majority of the damage, but when you get production from the bottom of that lineup, that's always a plus.
High tight fastball from Reed to Odor gets him back off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, and if you can get 3 of them in a row having a good day altogether, then you get a chance to do some damage. If you get the middle 3 or the bottom 3 or the top 3 all at the same time, all 3 of them in one game, you got a chance to put some runs up there. The way the Rangers have the last couple of days, and really that's what they did the first afternoon in here too on Thursday. Well, how about 3 things you have to know? You need to know this about Rougned Odor. Youngest player in the major leagues at 20 years and just over 100 days. Minor league player of the year, the Tom Grieve minor league player of the year last year, and the second rookie in Rangers history with 2 triples in the same game. Two triples and 5 runs driven in, a 4-hit afternoon. Other than that, Odor didn't do anything.
Nothing. He kind of took the day off.
Yeah, kind of hanging around, clapping, cheering for his teammates. 2-1 pitch coming from Reed. Now 3-1. They mentioned in our opening of the show this afternoon that anytime your name is mentioned in the same breath with Al Kaline, a guy like Al Kaline, the Hall of Famer, you've done something pretty impressive. And
wow.
Then you throw in Rogers Hornsby in another little clip about Rougned from yesterday. That's impressive in its own right. Shoots one fair down the left field line, and he's got another hit this afternoon. Big turn at first. He will hang on. He is now 1 for 3. And Odor, talk about a guy using the entire field. He's used both alleys, both lines, and done it pretty well the last couple of days.
He has. This guy's going up there swinging the bat like he's been here an awfully long time. And he's just very aggressive. Takes a nice hack pitch up and away. and stays with it. Takes it the other way. Doesn't try to do too much again. Doesn't try to roll over or yank it. Hit it in the gap like he did yesterday. Just went with it. Nice solid single to left.
Yeah, Brad Ausmus out to the mound once again and talking with Evan Reed. You got the top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo, coming up now, and Ausmus wants to go to the bullpen. So another pitching change for the Tigers here in the 7th inning. Looks like Ian Kroll, the left-hander, will be asked to come in to face Shin-Soo Choo, and he'll face Choo with 1 on and 2 outs in the 7th inning. While the pitching change is underway, we'll take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
Offensive explosion here against the Detroit Tigers in the Motor City so far this weekend. A chance to celebrate 3 wins in 4 games here, and a chance to celebrate Memorial Day tomorrow in Minnesota with you. AT&T Uverse brings you the preview of tomorrow's game, and you take a look at what we've got. Alex Rios, who's instrumental in this game and has been very good in this series, and Joe Mauer, who's been very good throughout his career. It's the Rangers and the Twins. We'll bring it to you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, a Memorial Day matinee. Guys, now back up to you.
All right, John. Ian Kroll has come in out of the Tiger bullpen to take over and face Shin-Soo Choo with 1 on and 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. Kroll's first pitch up and in, and Choo has to sit down.
Sonic scouting report on Ian Kroll. It's his 23rd game, ERA of 1.53, and just a couple of walks in 17+ innings. And one of those walks was just Friday. So this guy's around the plate a lot.
And Choo fouls it back out of play to even the count. A ball and a strike. Now Kroll, a 23-year-old out of the Chicago area, came over to the Tigers from the Washington Nationals. That was the deal that sent Doug Fister. Much debated trade that the Tigers' Dave Dombrowski made over the winter. But Fister hasn't done much for the Nationals, and Ian Kroll, Robbie Ray have at least figured into how things have gone for the Tigers this year.
It's kind of hard to question anything that Dave Dombrowski does. I mean, he's turned this organization around completely. Couple World Series trips and a victory, and so he's done a tremendous job.
Good baseball man, and he surrounds himself with good baseball people. That's probably as strong a point as he has. There's Dave. And you know, a lot of folks have been starting to talk about Dave Dombrowski as maybe the successor for the commissioner, and that's a distinct possibility. That'd be a great hire if Major League Baseball could hire him away from the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, that'd be a really good choice. It'd be hard to beat that.
Yeah,
really.
Kroll now has worked the count to 3-2 to Choo. Odor on the move, and the pitch, check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. And Chu draws yet another walk. So Shin-Soo with his second walk today, and he is down to first. Odor down to second. And we'll bring up Elvis Andrus. Chu has been on 3 times this afternoon in 5 trips to the plate. A couple of walks and a single. Elvis has been aboard with a double his last time. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Scored both those times. Pulls the ball in the hole. Base hit to left field. Odor being waved around third will score without a throw. And Elvis Andrus with an RBI single gets the Rangers into double figures. It's 10-2 Texas.
Elvis is having a pretty nice day. Salvaged his day pretty much. He was 0 for 3 before that 6th inning at bat when he hit the double down the left field line. And here in the 7th inning, he's got an opportunity with a runner on second base to tack on another run. And he pokes this one into left field to drive in Odor.
Well, that run added to the ledger of Evan Reed, who gives up that run on a hit in an inning and a third of work. Now Kroll facing Mitch Moreland. The pitch outside for ball 1. Mitch has gotten a couple of hits his last 2 times up there. He's 2 for 3. He has singled and doubled, driven into his RBI total now at an even 20 for the year. Got Chu at second, Andrus at first. Takes a knee-high strike to even things, and a ball and a strike. Washington about 10 or more runs in consecutive games, the first time in almost 2 years, back in August of 2012. Line drive, base hit to left field. Chu around third will score, and Mitch Moreland has his 3rd consecutive RBI base hit, and the Rangers lead it 11-2. When the bats woke up, they didn't just kind of shake themselves into awareness. They have thundered to life.
That they have. 14 hits on the day today, 19 hits yesterday. I think the bats are awake.
I think so. You better make sure that they make it on the plane in their present state. You want to take them with you. Skag, our pitch tracker, showing you where that last pitch to Mitch Moreland was. Here's Adrian Beltre, who has a couple of hits today. Mitch Moreland, by the way, 3 hits. They've come in succession. They've all driven in a run. 2 singles and a double. And a base hit to right field. Coming around third, in to score. Elvis Andrus, and the Rangers have put a dozen on the board for the 2nd straight day and lead it 12-2. The hit parade and run parade continue. Adrian Beltre now 20 RBI.
Well, you really like to see this. They're swinging the bats well, being aggressive at the plate, and obviously they can afford to do that, being up 9-10 runs. But hey, it's never enough.
This is the 3rd time in the last 5 games that Detroit has allowed 10 or more runs. And there was also another game in that streak that the Rangers scored 9 in that opening game here on Thursday afternoon. So essentially 4 of the 5 games, Tigers have given up just about 10 runs or more a game. That's very un-Tiger-like. And Brad Ausmus said today, he said, this is one time through the rotation. Now, Verlander started the 2nd time through, but he said you're going to have guys, you go through the course of a season, that the rotation doesn't pitch well one time through, maybe a time and a half. He said, are we concerned about it? Sure, we're concerned about it, but we're not going to make any reference to panic in this situation.
No, you can't. Every club goes through it. It doesn't matter how good you are throughout the course of the season. The Tigers got off to a great start, and now they're hitting a little speed bump right now, and every club goes through it. Whether the offense goes through it, the defense will go through it, and so will the pitching.
Yeah, and hopefully you just don't have the pitching and the hitting going through at the same time.
You don't want two of those things happening at the same time. That's for sure.
That's never good. Rios a chopper to Castellanos. He has it. And across the diamond for the final out. But the Rangers have 5 consecutive hitters reach with 2 outs in the inning. 3 of them score. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Rangers leading 12-2. Now please join the crowd at Comerica Park as they honor America and the fallen heroes with God Bless America.
Fans, at this time, we ask that you all please rise and join in the singing of God Bless America, performed today by the Vision Male Ensemble.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the nights with the lights from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Hey, everybody.
August the 26th, and enter to win free Rangers tickets and a VIP experience. Visit otbfanzone.com for more details. Robbie Ross Jr. back to the hill. He got the final out of the 6th inning in relief of Colby Lewis. Now goes to work against Ian Kinsler here in the 7th and throws strike 1. Kinsler 0 for 3 today, so his 10-game hitting streak on the line probably in this at bat. Elvis knocks it down. There will be no play, and Kinsler will extend that hitting streak to 11 straight games. That was probably the last thing on Ian's mind, but at least he can take a little bit of solace in extending that streak.
Right. Elvis goes up, almost gets it right at the tip of his glove, but just can't hang on to it.
Oh, leadoff single gets Kinsler aboard. Now Miguel Cabrera with his 4th at bat of the day. Cabrera walked in the 1st. Since then has flied out a couple times, and he bangs one through the left side, a base hit. Kinsler to 2nd, puts on a turn, and then the brakes. A 2 on with nobody out, and Victor Martinez coming up. And before Martinez comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break with Dana Larson. Dana? All right, Dana, thank you. Well, instead of Victor Martinez, it's going to be Don Kelly coming off the bench to pinch hit. So lefty versus lefty, and Kelly takes just a little bit low for ball one. Kelly at 255, no home runs, 3 driven in. Victor Martinez finishes today going 2 for 3 with an RBI. And Ross misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. So back-to-back singles greet Robbie Ross here in the 7th inning. Tigers with 8 hits for the afternoon. Kelly cues one foul back to the screen. The count moves to 2-1. Colby Lewis 5 2/3 as he got his start this afternoon. 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. Now Brad Ausmus, the Tiger trainer, headed down to first base. Miguel Cabrera, I think, was grabbing the back of his left leg. I don't know if that Omar Vizquel down there must have signaled for him to come out. Cabrera looks like he's pretty disgusted. So what are you doing out here? But Omar said, well, wait a minute. He understands the importance of a healthy Miguel Cabrera to the Tigers, and he wasn't going to do anything about that. But no, we're not going to mess around with that. A 12-2 game, you're coming out, big guy.
No, there's not much he can do after this. It's the 7th inning. He just got a base hit. There's not much left for Miguel Cabrera to do today, especially in the DH spot.
Well, Brian Holiday, the backup catcher, will come out and pitch run for Cabrera. And if we get word from the Tiger clubhouse, we'll certainly pass it along. It doesn't look like it's anything major, but one of those opportunities to get him off his feet and protect a potentially significant injury from developing. Kelly lashes one foul down the right side. Count moves to 2-2. Robbie Ross peering in for the side. Don Kelly waiting and now backs out as Robbie Ross broke contact with the pitching rubber. Kinsler at second. Holiday the runner at first. Now 3-2. Ross again set. Payoff pitch. And that's foul back. Robbie, after coming on in the bottom of the 6th inning, he's given up 3 hits in the 5 hitters that he has faced. 3-2 again. This one popped up. Shallow left field. Infield fly rule is in effect as Elvis is called off by Michael Choice. That's okay. Elvis was glad to get out of the way and let Michael handle it. That's out number 1. Now it'll be Torrey Hunter's turn. Hunter ecstatic about getting Colby Lewis out of the game before he had to face him again.
Oh, yes, you better believe it. It's 2 for 22 now?
Yeah. Yeah. He was 0 for 3 today and want no more to do with that guy.
That's the cheering we heard coming from the Tiger dugout.
That was it. And he looks at a strike here from Robbie. So Torrey having a tough time of it also. Talking about the Tiger pitching, a couple of guys in the Tiger offense really scuffling in this series. And there's a base hit for Hunter. Hoops one into right field. Kinsler around third will come in to score. On to third goes Holiday. And that makes it a 12-3 Ranger lead. So the streak of the losing team scoring exactly 2 runs stops at 3 in this series, as Torrey Hunter drives in his 27th run of the year.
Guess all Torrey needed was somebody else other than Colby Lewis to be out there on the mound.
Holiday around to third, Hunter at first. Austin Jackson 1 for 3. Now facing Robbie Ross. Ground ball to third, to second, and back to first. Low throw, knocked down by Moreland, but Jackson was going to beat it out anyway. Holiday comes in to score. That makes it a 12-4 Ranger lead, and 2 outs now with Jackson at first. He gets the RBI for Austin Jackson. RBI number 16.
Robbie gets Austin Jackson to roll over to third baseman. Adrian Beltre over to second. Odor tries to get Austin Jackson, but Austin can get down that line pretty good. Not much of a chance at turn 2 there.
I wouldn't think there are many right-handed hitters that get down the line any better than Austin Jackson does.
No.
He's out of the box in a hurry.
No, he can fly. He can move it. And he's another guy with those long legs and those long strides. He covers a lot of territory pretty quick.
Alex Avila, who has walked a couple of times today, 0 for 1 officially. First time facing the left-hander Ross. 0-1 as Robbie got the first pitch in, and he's set for pitch number 2. That's out of play to the left. No balls and 2 strikes. Taking a little time getting back in. Robbie Ross trying to get this inning over with, get back onto that Ranger bench. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rangers trying to, with a win today anyway, can win their first series. It's back in the first week of May since they took 2 of 3 from the Angels out in Anaheim. And since then they've gone 0-4-2, and a swinging third strike by Alex Avila. So that'll do it for the Tigers. They do get 2 on the board, 2 runs on 3 hits and strand 1. We have finished 7th in Detroit. Rangers 12, Tigers 4. Game fireworks show that's coming up on Friday, June the 6th. The fireworks show will follow the 7 o'clock game against the Cleveland Indians, and $15 tickets in the upper reserve seating sections are available. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials, and you can use the coupon code FIREWORKS to get your $15 ticket specials. Well, we go to the top of the 8th inning. Java Chamberlain has come out of the Tiger bullpen to take over for Detroit. Java Chamberlain becomes the 4th pitcher used this afternoon by Brad Ausmus. He follows Ian Kroll, Evan Reed, and Justin Verlander here this afternoon. Word from the Tiger locker room is that Miguel Cabrera had a right hamstring problem. Say he's day to day, and Tigers have also taken a couple of other veterans out of the lineup, such as Torrey Hunter. Tigers leave after the ball game today and go out to the West Coast, take on Oakland in a day game tomorrow afternoon, while the Rangers head to Minneapolis and play a matinee Memorial Day hookup against the Minnesota Twins. Chamberlain's first pitch to Leonis Martin is low and outside for ball 1. Martin 0 for 4. He has not joined in the offensive fun here this afternoon for the Rangers. Virtually everybody on that bench has. They're having a good time. That's nice to see. Even a guy like Derek Holland, who has been as frustrated as anybody, probably enjoying being a part of this team and getting the team turned around a bit.
It's probably a good thing that Martin's the one making the outs, because if he was getting hits, probably be in the 3rd inning. Somebody's got to make the outs.
That's right. That's right. Take a couple for the team and try to get this thing over with. 2-1. The bearded Java Chamberlain out there. And a bouncer to first. That's where Don Kelly is. He steps on the bag. That is out number 1. And it will bring up Michael Choice. Time now to take a look at the AT&T fan photo that we have selected for this afternoon's viewing pleasure from Dustin. That's a good looking picture. Appreciate you sending that in, Dustin. We thank you. And for you folks that want to get involved with that, send your photo. Just tweet your photo and hashtag Southwest Fan Photo. And the good folks at AT&T have allowed us to get this thing going all season long. Michael Choice 1 for 4, takes a strike from Chamberlain. Choice, the leadoff home run back in the 2nd inning. And that the run that put the Rangers ahead to this point to stay. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chamberlain back to the plate. Choice a rip and a miss. Chamberlain, the 27-year-old, he's out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Signed as a free agent from the Yankees, and Choice sends a fly ball to center. Jackson started back, now has to put on a burst of speed to come on and make a shin-high catch. Choice is retired for out number 2. But Jackson got fooled by the swing. Thought that ball was really going to travel, and fortunately for him, he's got good enough speed that once he realized it wasn't going to, he could get it in time.
Yeah, he took about 5 or 6 steps back pretty hard and put the brakes on and was still able to come in and make the play. No substitution for speed, that's for sure.
So 2 outs. Now Robinson Chirinos. He pounds one, a fair ball down the 3rd baseline and headed for extra bases. Bounds off the short wall and into second. Robinson Chirinos, his 2nd double of the afternoon, his 3rd hit. And he is aboard with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Now, we mentioned Robinson Chirinos coming into today. It had a 10-game streak where he was hitting just above 100. And he has come out of that in a hurry.
couple of doubles, 3 knocks today. Takes this fastball in, sinking fastball, and keeps it fair just inside the bag at third base for his second double on the day.
The Rangers now 16 hits this afternoon, leading 12-4. There's Rougned Odor. The first pitch from Chamberlain is in the dirt for ball 1. Odor singled and scored his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. 1 for 3 today. That batting average now at .282. In just a couple of days, Odor is that batting average shoot up. 5 hits in the last 2 games.
5 for 8. That's not bad. that'll usually jump your batting average up pretty quickly.
If it doesn't, you were having a heck of a year anyway. 1-0 pitch. And a high chopper that Kelly picks off. He underhands to Chamberlain, not in time, as Odor beats it out. Well, once Kelly went after the ball, there was no way that Chamberlain was going to beat Rougned Odor to the bag. And that is the young second baseman's second hit of the afternoon.
No, as soon as that first baseman leaves, when you've got a guy that can run like that, when that first baseman has to go that far to the right and leaves first base, you're probably not going to beat that runner, especially not Odor. He can get down that line pretty good. Java comes over right away, but it's too far for the first baseman to go and make that play.
Now they're coming out to look at Chamberlain. Apparently he tweaked something, going to cover the bag at first. And I'll take back what I said about Java. He did beat Odor there by half a step. The ball didn't beat him there, though. That was the other part of it. Chamberlain did as good a job as he possibly could getting over there quickly. But apparently in the process, looking down toward his right foot as if he might have gotten stepped on by Odor. It didn't look like it on the replay, but see what happens here as he hits the bag with his right foot. Oh yeah, kind of slipped on him. A little bit of a twist in the ankle.
Yeah, I caught the backside of it. Can't be a good feeling.
You know, you do that probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 times in spring training. You never make a misstep like that. The first time you do it in a game, something goes wrong. It's crazy.
Take the wrong angle.
Yeah.
Get a balloon flip from the infielder. Yeah.
Yep. Murphy's Law alive and well. Well, apparently Java okay, and at least okay enough to hang into the ball game. And he has runners at first and third with 2 outs. And now Shin-Soo Choo coming to bat again. This is 6th time to the plate this afternoon. Officially, he is 1 for 3. He's scored 3 runs. He has a couple of walks. Chamberlain misses with the breaking ball. It's 1-0. Runners at third and first. Chirinos at third, followed by Odor at first. Chamberlain, a high set, the 1-0 pitch. He drops that breaking ball in. Chamberlain, you remember, with the Yankees for all those years, came up originally in 2007, and the Yankees took them a couple of years to figure out exactly what they wanted to do with Java Chamberlain. He started a couple of years for him, 2008 and 9. And then the Yankees finally said, no, you're going to be a reliever. Put him in the pen. In 2010, he had 73 appearances. Since that time, though, he has not been able to stay healthy enough. Topped out at 45 games for the Yankees last year. He's been signed this offseason with the Tigers as a free agent. 2-1 the count to Choo. Now 2-2. Skag pitch tracker showing you that breaking ball dropping over the inside corner to Shin-Soo Choo. Chamberlain's 2-2. And the count has gone full. Well, if Shin-Soo Choo reaches against Chamberlain here in the 8th inning, would give Elvis Andrus a shot with a lot of teammates on the bags. Payoff pitch on the way. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. And Choo gets another walk. That's his 3rd walk of the day. The 4th time he has been on base. And it loads the bases for Elvis. And it is not going to be Elvis. Instead, Luis Sardinas will come up as the pinch hitter. Elvis retires 2 for 5 with 3 runs scored today. And, Luis Sardinas will come out and probably not face Jabba Chamberlain as Brad Ausmus and the Tiger trainer back out to the mound along with home plate umpire Jeff Gosney. Chamberlain twisting his right ankle a bit as he covered first on the infield single by Odor, and then he ended up walking Choo. And that's going to be it for Jabba Chamberlain. Oh, the pitching change will be made, and whoever the pitcher is coming in will have all the time he needs because of the injury to Jabba Chamberlain. Haven't seen who that will be yet. Looked like a right-hander out there loosening a moment ago, but Jabba Chamberlain gets a pat on the back from Jeff Jones, the pitching coach for the Tigers. Been an all-around forgettable day for the Tiger pitching staff, an all-around forgettable series for many of them.
It has, and Jabba really tried to hang in there, and after the injury, and still get that last out, but just wasn't able to do it. But yeah, it's been a pretty tough week for this Tigers bullpen and rotation.
It's like Albuquerque, right-hander, will be coming in. So Albuquerque making his way in from the bullpen. We will take a timeout and tell you all about him when we come back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Of opportunities gone by in the past, but he finally gets one of those no-nos. Pitcher for the Dodgers, who Dodgers need to turn some things around. They may need a couple more no-hitters to get things going.
They do. They haven't been playing that well, and Still a lot of time, but it's good to see Josh Beckett get a no-hitter. Hopefully he can turn the corner and get that stellar career back that he had just a few years ago in Boston.
Al Albuquerque all set to go. He will face Luis Sardinas as the pinch hitter. Rangers have the bases loaded. Chirinos, Odor, and Chu, third, second, and first. And Sardinas steps in hitting at .286. No home runs. But he does have his first Major League RBI. Albuquerque missing high and away for ball one. The Rangers leading this afternoon 12-4. They have out-hit the Tigers 17-9. Albuquerque missing high, 2-0. Rangers now have scored 24 runs on 36 hits in the last 2 days. We play in the 8th inning today. Still another several at-bats to be made here today. 2-1. We get word out of Toronto where the Blue Jays have completed their sweep of the Oakland Athletics. Swing and a miss by Sardinas. Well, the Rangers, who had not picked up ground on Oakland prior to this series since the first week in May, have a chance to pick up 3 in the last 3 days. Rangers came in trailing by 6 this afternoon, and they have a chance to move within 5. Sardinas gone on strikes. And Zavila steps on home plate. That will do it. Rangers leave them loaded. A couple of hits and a walk. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Rangers 12 and the Tigers 4. All right, Dana, thank you very much. Now we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Nick Castellanos leading off against Robbie Ross, who misses low and inside for ball one. Rangers on top 12-4. Another sellout crowd on hand here tonight, 42,583. Third sellout of the 4-game series, and total for the series here in Detroit, 166,633 folks coming out to Comerica Park to enjoy this series, or ostensibly to enjoy this series. If you're a Ranger fan, especially enjoy it. A rip and a miss, and it's 2-1. But enjoy also the stellar weather over the last 4 days here in Detroit.
We need to bottle this and take it everywhere we go.
We could do that. Figure out something. 2-1 pitch from Ross. And a base hit to left center field. Able to cut it off quickly is Michael Choice. Castellanos aboard. That's a leadoff single here in the 8th inning. Castellanos with his first base hit of the afternoon. And to bring up Andrew Romine. Well, that's the 5th hit that Robbie Ross has given up in an inning and a third. Been charged with a couple of runs. Now trying to calm things back down. Romine, the first hitter that Ross faced when he entered the ballgame, singled to right field on a 1-2 pitch. And it's a double play grounder to Sardinas. To Odor, back to Moreland, who can't hang on to the ball as he tried to keep his foot on the bag with Romine coming by. That'll just go down as a fielder's choice grounder, but a missed opportunity for the Rangers to turn 2.
Well, Robbie gets the ground ball that he wanted. Sardinas makes a nice pick over to Odor, and Odor just throws it up the line just a little bit too much for Mitch Moreland to be able to handle it.
That takes the Tigers back to the top of their order for Rajai Davis, who is 1 for 4 today. Singled and scored in his first at bat. He fouls off that first pitch. Since then, he is lined to short, skied to center, and grounded to short. 283 the average. We were talking earlier about the Tigers and their stolen base. The change in the Tigers over the years where you wouldn't associate them with a stolen base, but you know, since they brought Rajai Davis over and then Ian Kinsler, those two guys at the top of the order certainly give them the capability to be up among the league leaders for a little while.
Oh, there's no question. It changed this complexion of this batting order. It really has. You put Rajai at the top. This guy can flat out motor. We know what Kinsler can do. We've seen it for many years, and it's just a different ball club. They definitely brought a new element. It's not just, you know, out hit people, but they can manufacture runs as well.
0-2 the count, and there's a base hit to left field. That 0-2 pitch staying out over the plate, and Davis promptly banged it into left. That's his second hit of the afternoon. Runners at first and second with 1 out, and Ian Kinsler coming up. Well, folks, this Memorial Day, Fox Sports is honored to salute our troops. First at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the Rangers begin a 4-game series in Minneapolis against the Twins. And over on Fox Sports 1's at 7 p.m., the Army's elite compete with each other and push themselves to the limit in the best Ranger competition. Then it's Fox Fight Night. It's live from Fort Bliss, Texas, beginning at 8 p.m. all on the Fox family of channels. A 2-on, 1 out. Kinsler 1 for 4. He has extended his hitting streak to 11 straight games. Ross, a belt high set. He comes to the plate. Kinsler hits another double play grounder. Odor turns this one over, and that time the Rangers got it done. A 6-4-3, and the Tigers are put down in the 8th. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We're going to the 9th in Motown. The Rangers doing a number on the Tigers. The game, Jimmy Johns brings you the freaky fast production of Mitch Moreland, an RBI single. And how about dropping one right on the chalk that made a challenge necessary, and the umpires upheld the double for Moreland. And the next time up, going the other way, another RBI base hit for Mitch Moreland. A freaky fast delivery 3 times in a row by Mitch Moreland, brought to you by Jimmy Johns. And Mitch, part of that 17-hit attack. Rangers, for the second straight day, putting a dozen on the board. And Moreland will start off the Ranger ninth against a former teammate of his. Coming back to pitch for the first time against his old team, and that would be Joe Nathan.
The Sonic scouting report on Mr. Nathan, his 19th ball game, 2-0 record by a 4 ERA, 8 walks and 16 strikeouts, giving up 3 home runs on the year. The opponents are hitting only 206 off of him, so we are very familiar with Mr. Nathan.
You can take those numbers, and that would fit just about any season for the last, I don't know, 10 or 12 or so for Joe Nathan. Amazing. First pitch to Mitch Moreland is high for ball 1. Mitch 3 for 4. 3 runs driven in, and also a walk this afternoon. Nathan back to the plate, and Moreland, a towering fly ball out to center field, and Austin Jackson looked up, threw his hands out, and said, "What? Where to go?" I saw it off the bat. He got up there, looked like the sky swallowed it. Then he finally located it, and that's out number 1.
He's having a tough time seeing the ball off the bat right now.
How helpless a feeling is that, Mac, in the outfield, when you see it go up and then can't locate it?
You know it's coming your way, and you don't want to be that one that just doesn't see. You don't. You're looking for it. There's a little bit of panic that's running through your body at that point. But you got to keep looking, and Austin does that and picked it up, and you see that is not a good feeling.
Oh, man. I would imagine sometimes you don't know whether to run the other way or just hope it comes out. Finally get a glimpse of it. Well, Donnie Murphy hitting his first at bat of the afternoon, took over for Adrian Beltre. Beltre, by the way, retired 3 for 4 this afternoon with 2 RBI. So Donnie Murphy, a .230 average, a couple of home runs, 9 driven in. That's out of play to the right. Murphy back in. Donnie at 17 hits on the year, back from being on the DL with that neck problem that he suffered almost a month ago. Went down, had a rehab assignment. Of course, when Prince Fielder had to go on the DL, he activated Donnie Murphy for an extra utility man. 3-1 pitch from Nathan. That's lashed foul down the left side. Three balls and 2 strikes. Joe Nathan, the 39-year-old, back on top of the hill. Into the wind, the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Well, despite a 12-4 score on the scoreboard, Joe Nathan working on a few things to keep himself sharp, and Donnie Murphy got caught looking at that 3-2 hook.
I think he kind of knew it there as well. Not the pitch he was looking for, 3-2.
No, it was not. So 2 gone. Alex Rios, who has 3 runs driven in on a couple of hits today, takes a strike on the outer part. Alex 2 for 5 with a triple and a single. RBI total now to 29 for the year. Average stands at 318. Wave and a miss. Again, Nathan with that breaking ball. And Joakim Soria, whom we have not seen in this series because of the blowouts one way or the other. You get a chance to work the ninth inning, much as the Tigers have gone to Joe Nathan. With a couple on in the fifth inning, Alex Rios plugging that gap in left center field, and boy, anywhere from there around to deepest right center field, that's Triple's alley in this ballpark. Ball goes forever before it runs into a wall in that part of the park. And with Rios' speed, easily a triple. 1-2 the count. Bases empty, 2 away, top of the ninth inning. Rios facing Joe Nathan. And that's out of play to the right. Joe with 37 saves back in 2012. And last year with the Rangers, he had 43 saves. Had a great year. Also had a 1.39 ERA for the Rangers, second best on the team. Breaking ball is low and outside. 2-2 now. Neil Kotz had that 1.11 ERA, which set the mark.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Last year, I don't think Joe blew his first save until the end of August, somewhere around there.
It was late in the year, yeah.
Make it interesting sometimes, but
yes, yeah,
get the job done.
Well, he had that flair for the dramatic, like in a good closer. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. And the appeal to first. No swing. The count is now full. Oh, I take it back. Mariano Rivera did not have a flair for the dramatic. He'd just go out there and pump 8 or 10 pitches, and that'd be it. Say, see you later.
That was terrible. You knew what was coming. Pretty much every pitch, and still couldn't do it.
Night after night after night.
Year after year after year.
Yeah. Nathan's payoff pitch to Rios. Calls strike 3, and Alex knew it. Outside corner, Nathan gets a couple of strikeouts. Rangers gone in order. We're going to the bottom of the ninth inning. Joakim Soria looks like he is going to come in and try and close out this 12-4 Ranger lead. Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And by your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. Now, Ranger fans, stay until the end. They are watching their ball club leading 12-4. Robbie Ross had a decoy thrown out to us by Joakim Soria. Did his best impression of a guy that was heating up, ready to come in, and instead Robbie's back out there, and he can get a save in this game. If he finishes out this inning, finishes the game off and does it effectively, he can get a save. Out to Sardinas at short, ball almost handcuffed him, but here's Sardinas able to throw out Ryan Holiday for the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. No, one gone. Now Don Kelly. Kelly came on for Miguel Cabrera, or I should say for Victor Martinez. Took over in the 7th inning, flying to left field. First time that he faced Robbie Ross. Kelly getting .250 for the year. Ross tying him up like a bundle of Sunday morning newspapers for that pitch. 1-1. Rangers finish up here this afternoon, head on to the Twin Cities for Memorial Day matinee tomorrow. 1 o'clock Central Time start. Nick Tepish and Kevin Correa, the principals. Then a pair of night games. Rangers, the only two night games they have on this whole road trip are back-to-back. The only two night games back-to-back are Tuesday and Wednesday. Yu Darvish gets to start on Tuesday against Phil Hughes. A weak wave and a miss. And the count evens at 2-2. Then Joe Saunders moving back into the rotation, taking on Kyle Gibson Wednesday night. The Rangers finish off that 4-game set against the Twins with Nick Martinez and Samuel Deduno on the Thursday afternoon. Low and outside, the count is now full to Kelly with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ross nods in agreement and sets the payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. A 1-out walk, and now Ron Washington headed out to the mound. And he may not want Robinson Chirinos or the infielders out there while he talks to Robbie Ross. Typically, when Wash heads out there, yeah, he could be bringing Joakim Soria. But it looked like the way he was striding out there that he was going to talk to Robbie, and instead he's going to take the ball from him, and that'll be it. I thought that might have been one of those teaching moments, but it's just Robbie's done the work this afternoon, and he is finished after his 2 1/3 inning outing. Well, Joakim Soria coming on in. He is coming in. He'll try to close out the ball game. We'll take a break and be back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. your school spirit at the Texas Rangers game. That's coming up on Wednesday, June 25th. You get discounted tickets for that ball game. Plus, the Tigers, they will be in town. The first 1,000 fans get free Rangers cap in TCU purple and black. Go to TexasRangers.com/TCU for details. Joakim Soria, the 29-year-old, on to take over this ball game, and J.D. Martinez with his first at bat of the afternoon fouls one out of play, finds the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here are the numbers for Joakim Soria. 17th ball game, 1-1 record, 2.25 ERA in 16 innings. It's 2 walks, 21 strikeouts, a 143 opponent's batting average.
This is just off the outer edge, 2-1. That's pretty good. 2 walks and 21 strikeouts.
Not bad. Yeah. If you like that kind of thing, if you like that stat, that's pretty good.
Back to the plate, Soria, and the pitch again fouled away to the right. 2-2 now.
I like how Soria goes about his business. Every time he comes in, he's just attacking hitters. He's going out there throwing strikes and making that opposition try and put the ball in play.
And he's doing it with 4 pitches most of the time, too. Sometimes 3. Sometimes he doesn't have good command of one of them. But it's driven to right center field. Plenty of room out there for Leonis Martin. That is out number 2. Now Austin Jackson coming to the plate. Now, you know, Soria is kind of like Joe Nathan in that regard, in that the ability to throw 4 pitches pretty consistently for strikes means he doesn't really have an off day with his stuff. A closer that comes in and has just the good hard fastball or just the split fingered pitch or whatever can have an off day with that 1 pitch and not be able to get people out. Well, guys that throw 3 or 4 pitches as closer don't have that capability, don't have that problem.
No,
they can still get people out.
Right. They, like you said, if they don't have 1 or possibly even 2, they still have 2 that hopefully are working for them.
Now, that's kind of unique when you're not throwing any more frequently than closers are, to be able to command all 4 pitches. These guys can do it. Here's a drive to right field right there. Alex Rios dead in his tracks, puts it away, and that is a winner. Rangers, for the first time since back in the first week of May, have won a series. They win 3 out of 4, I should say, here in Detroit, taking down the mighty Tigers. 3 hours and 43 minutes it took in front of another capacity crowd of 42,583. Colby Lewis gets the win. We will come back to Comerica Park with our player of the game right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.